ankle injury, spent time in a walking boot. Nick Nurse said before the game, just his simple quote was, "He's okay." So we will see what becomes of the Toronto Raptors. They've been blown out twice in this series. There's been three pretty close games. They have won the games that would have been the road games in this series so far. The Celtics have won the games that would have been the home games for the Raptors, with the Raptors the higher seed. So the Raptors are quote-unquote scheduled to win tonight. It will be desperation for them. But if they're going to do that, what's going to have to change for them from Game 5?
I mean, Toronto couldn't get anything going against Boston's defense early. Boston was doing an amazing job recovering and not really conceding anything. And Toronto really took it basically till middle of the second quarter. And by that point, Boston's offense was going. And, it's a really basic thing, but getting enough stops to get into transition can really help them, because Toronto's going to have limitations. As they don't have a ton of one-on-one creators in this group. They have a lot of talented players, but they don't have a lot of guys with that specific strength. And we're ready to go.
Gasol wins the tip, and Lowry will control. He's guarded by Marcus Smart. They started with Tatum on him early in this series, but Smart has been the guy recently. Flex action here to get Siakam going. He blows the layup, but he's fouled by Jaylen Brown. That's a key play here. And Kemba Walker did not help enough. He, in fact, got in his own teammate's way. That flex action is tough to guard because you've got that cross screen. You'll see it here on the replay. And Van Vliet's about to pop up off the Anunoby screen to the top. So Walker doesn't want to leave him, fearing that he'll give up an open jumper to Van Vliet. And that means that Siakam is going to the foul line. And that is not somewhere he's spent a lot of time in this series.
And as always in pivotal games, and this is an elimination game for the Raptors, foul trouble is exceedingly important. Jaylen Brown was terrible in Game 4, but then was really good in Game 5, and so that'll be worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, and Siakam has had varying success against Brown, probably the most success against Brown of anyone, as he misses the free throw. Gasol trying to keep it alive, and I think this will be, we're going to stay here with Toronto.
It looked to me like it hit Gasol last, but
as
it was
it
a
did
hard
to
angle.
Me. But the referees do not agree, and we don't get a closer replay of it. They want to bring Anunoby into the corner, now looking for Van Vliet. They tried to get Lowry going off the screen. Smart's right there. Good defense. Lowry with the tough jumper over Smart, and it's 1-0. Rare that you get a chance to say that. Walker as Van Vliet trying to pressure him. Tatum, they have had some success with this screen away from Tatum, and it looks like this is might be a box and one on Kemba Walker in that possession. Yeah, that's what it appears to be. It was a diamond, really, a diamond in one. Now Siakam posting up on Smart, backing down. That's Tice on the box out, and Gasol kept it alive the first time. He gets the loose ball foul on this one.
Yeah, and Marc Gasol, we don't know if Serge Ibaka is playing. We don't know how limited he's going to be, so that makes Marc Gasol's minutes and capability far more important in this one.
Still the box and one now. Watch Van Vliet following Walker around, and they get Smart a wide open corner three. It's possible that Gasol might be sticking with Tice as well, but that was poor communication to give up that wide open of a corner three. Lowry into the mid-range against Tatum. Goes around the Gasol screen. Tatum got through it and bothered him with his length. Now it's Van Vliet. Slips down. Back out Gasol. He'll have to jack. Didn't really have his feet set, and Gasol is 0 for 10, now 0 for 11 from downtown in the series. They trap Smart on the sideline, try to swing it. Anunoby is on Walker. Let's see, are they back in the box and one again? I'm not sure what Gasol is doing in this defense. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but they turn it over. Here's Anunoby, and he's crushed by Smart, and he'll go to the foul line.
And so, again, how many possessions can Toronto get avoiding facing a set defense? I think that's one of the best ways for Toronto to potentially succeed in this game, and in a Game 7, obviously, should they make it.
Might be the only way for them to succeed. And Toronto has had some success attacking in transition early in games. Obviously, when you turn the ball over at the top of the key, you're going to give up some runouts. But with the number of minutes that these guys are playing, Lowry and Van Vliet in particular, kind of tough to drive that transition game. And Siakam has done absolutely nothing in transition He has had one field goal attempt out of his 79 in the series have been in transition. That per John Schumann. All right, let's look at the Raptors defense here. They definitely are sticking Van Vliet on Walker. They'll just take a deep three here with Smart. Tice trying to keep it alive. Fabulous effort by him. Swing it to Walker. His three-pointer over Lowry is off. And this will be interesting to see what Brad Stevens is going to do. Is Walker going to just kind of stay out of the way and they'll play 4-on-4? Or are they going to try and run some stuff for Kemba Walker here?
I would support the latter.
I think also having another thing that can really work for you against a box and one. Smart wants a review already, and that'll be his second if there is no review, which there won't be. One thing that you can do is use the guy in the box and one as the screener, because that guy doesn't want to leave him. So you can get guys open with Walker setting some screens for people.
Yeah, a Kemba Tatum screen, for example.
Here's Lowry is Smart trying to get through the screen. Wow, Walker with a nice deflection, but it goes right back to Lowry, who guns it from the top, and that is 0 for 2 now for Lowry. Toronto still struggling to get good shots. Tice on the fake handoff into the lane. Smart is third three-pointer of the game, and he's 2 for 3, hitting twice from that left corner.
Yeah, and that was a version kind of a fake DHO for Tice. They thought a pass was coming, and he just drove into the lane, got some help.
Van Vliet into the trees. Now it's Anunoby cut off nicely by Tatum along the baseline. Now Tice has him. Anunoby fighting it up, blows the layup, though, right back for the little bunny dunk.
And Anunoby's, his offensive rebounds have been really important. That was one of the best things that the Raptors had going in Game 4.
Again, it's Van Vliet sticking with Walker. Gasol calling out the corner. Here's Smart again, a third corner three. And are they going to have to get out of this now? That's the shot that was available for the Warriors in the finals last year when Toronto went to the box and won on Steph Curry, but Alfonso McKinney wasn't hitting that shot the way Smart has. Here's a wide open three from Van Vliet. That's the one they got to hit. Those are few and far between for Toronto. Now it's Walker in transition. Smart again, a fourth three-pointer? Not that time.
And remember, I believe 6 is the NBA record for a quarter.
Well, and Smart was close to that with 5 in Game 2. Van Vliet going at Smart, cannot draw the foul. Stevens staying with Smart despite the 2 fouls, as he is wont to do. And Anunoby wants a screen. Jaylen Brown pressuring him up, no screen coming. Off the dribble, it's Anunoby. Wow! Not known for that skill set.
And that's the first kind of a possession like that Toronto's had success on. Remember, an offensive rebound, 2 fouls are how they scored their previous 4 points.
Tatum going for the rip move on Anunoby and draws the non-shooting foul. Interesting to see what they do to try and get Tatum going here as well, particularly if Anunoby is not going to be following him around. The corners are definitely the spot here for the Raptors to get open. Brown blowing past Anunoby, but blew the layup as well. Now it's Van Vliet, little semi-transition. Can they stop him? He'll try Walker. Good job not fouling, but Van Vliet finishing the layup. Remember, the Raptors' struggles in both Game 4 and Game 5, finishing at the rim early. Walker on the blow-by, getting the screen, setting up another smart three. Anunoby goes by. Now it's Tatum. Brown in the corner. His shot over Lowry goes down, and the Celtics, this is too many corner threes. You can't make a living giving up this many wide open corner threes to this team. This is outstanding work attacking this, and while I appreciate Nick Nurse's thought of trying to deal with Kemba Walker as Tice with a huge rejection on Siakam, they may have to get out of this. Here's Walker. Leaves for Tice. Tatum, another corner three. Underneath Brown as Tice kept it alive. Lowry with the foul. Jaylen Brown ignores him, and Kyle Lowry has a little bit of a reputation for that. Now he gives him a little pat on the butt of kind of bridging guys a little bit. So Boston, 14-9, they lead it, and they're getting wide open shots on nearly every possession, Danny.
Yeah, and the shot chart for the Celtics right now, they have taken 2 shots in the restricted area. One of them was the Jaylen Brown one that just went in. They have taken 3 above the break threes, which have all missed. A couple of them were wide open looks. And they've taken 5 corner threes. They've taken as many corner threes as everything else combined.
Yeah, and you generally corner threes. Part of why those go in more is because you don't take them unless you're open. And the shorter line, I'm sure, does help for some guys. But generally, you're not getting a corner three unless you got some really nice action to get the guy open. And you don't throw it to the corner unless that guy is wide open. So that's part of why the percentage on corner threes is much better.
Well, and another part of that, I think this kind of goes in with it, but I want to mention it, is that corner threes are almost always assisted and almost always catch and shoot. So I mean, that's another factor in it. You can't. There aren't really that many self-created ones, and that ratchets it up.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, because if you took out all of the attempts off the dribble above the break, your percentage on above the break threes and corner threes would probably be a lot closer. That's a great point. So should we tell everyone about our friends at bookies.com here, Danny?
Yeah, absolutely, we should. And bookies.com is all about information, and one of those ways is expert picks. So I wanted to go through the expert picks that we have for today's action. Both Mark Stropman and Adam Thompson. Adam Thompson's over 68% on the season, which is completely ridiculous. They both picked the Celtics over the Raptors, and it was a 2.5-point spread in this game. And then Thompson also picked the Nuggets over the Clippers. They are 7.5-point dogs in the nightcap tonight, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. And always, they give great explanations, and so sometimes, especially for me, like learning over-unders and some of those mechanics, I learn a lot from their explanations.
Yeah, and of course, bookies.com supporting this cast, and you can support them by going to bookies.com/NBA and click through there to legal betting deals in your state, if gambling is legal there.
A question from Corey: is Nurse overthinking his strategy? I think it was worth trying. I mean, the idea basically kind of trying to stall it out. We've seen some success from Toronto's zone, but one of the big ideas with this is you can, even if it's the right tact at the time, if another team can find holes in it, then you need to be ready to move off. And I think that's where we are with this now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think, can they make the argument that they just haven't executed it enough? I mean, they had a couple where they just didn't call it out very well. I mean, presumably they've practiced this also, but I mean, this is just pretty simple ball movement that Boston is doing. Like, they haven't even had a timeout to deal with this. Now, maybe this is something they talked about a little bit, but I can't imagine that this was a massive focus of their preparation. And so now if they can draw stuff up for it, let's take a look at this here. Oof, man, Jaylen Brown takes some tough falls.
Ugh.
Remember, he had that big concussion. I think it was last year.
And that wasn't even like a risky jump or anything. That was Kyle Lowry made that risky.
So Braun with the chance to complete the three-point play. Hopefully he's none the worse for wear.
And it is interesting to me that the players who get the repeat offender tag in terms of like expanded punishments and things like that, and then the players who do not. Like, I mean, Lowry has been in situations, and it's not even necessarily whether a single play is dirty or not, but he's around that type of thing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's always trying to take a charge, and so you're going to – I mean, there was the play that we thought should have been a flagrant where he undercut the guy that had no chance at a charge. Here's Tice trying to bother Gasol. Anunoby was open. Gasol actually missed him. Here's Lowry's three-pointer, and that's going to go down plus the foul. Jason Tatum miscommunicating just a little bit there. And Smart, that's how Anunoby got open, number one, and then also Lowry was open. Yeah, I mean, that is an extremely dangerous play by Lowry. And I would like the league to look at it when you really undercut somebody like that could be considered a flagrant. So Toronto keeping pace here with Boston, and let's see what they're in. They're still in the box and one, it looks like, on Walker. Gasol with a nice play there, and I think maybe the adjustment is, hey, we got to just get out in the corners a little more. And Gasol did it that time. Also, you would think that Tatum having a chance to attack here would be helpful. He leaves it for Tice, who recovers it. Tatum blowing past Gasol, now steps back. I thought he had more available than that, but Tice continuing to make plays with his athleticism. Now it's Walker. Falls down, gets back up. He wants it back with them not in the box and one anymore. I think, yeah, now they have, it's just whoever picks up Walker is the one, and everyone else gets into the zone. But that time, Van Vliet with the dig off of Jaylen Brown picks up the foul. So, I mean, the communication is good. You see that if somebody else gets stuck on Walker, then Van Vliet just goes back and takes that guy's spot in the zone.
And worth noting that each team now has 4 team fouls, so both are shooting free throws the rest of the quarter.
And looks like another adjustment here now. What they are doing, I think, on Walker, as Tatum misses another open three, is that if Walker sets a screen, then whoever gets screened just switches on to Walker. That's what Lowry did that time. We'll see if that would happen with Gasol as well. Here's Brown pulling up on the move. Didn't really ever get his feet set, and he raises his hand to acknowledge that he could have got a better one. Trying to keep Siakam off that right hand. He'll just take the mid-ranger, and the Celtics will happily live with that from Pascal Siakam. Tatum cut off by Van Vliet. No call. Tatum in the lane. Another short mid-ranger missed. Another. Finally, he gets it back, and the Raps, never a good defensive rebounding outfit. That's been one of their big struggles in this zone defense as well here.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Here's Gasol rumbling down the lane. Blows the layup as Tatum had the help, and Anunoby lost it out of bounds. Gasol had 2 very ugly missed layups early, and I'm interested to see how long Nurse sticks with him as opposed to Ibaka. And, yeah.
You brought up Toronto's limited defensive rebounding. They already have, I believe it's 6. Boston has 6 offensive rebounds, though a couple of them were on that same possession right there.
Yeah, Wanamaker is in now. Tatum usually takes a seat around this time. He'll return when Walker goes out. They want to keep one of those guys on the floor at all times. No, Tatum's still in for now. Wanamaker. This is where maybe this zone can be a little bit better with fewer threats on the floor, as Ojale is waiting at the table as well. Walker faking it, gets it down to Tice. Nice cut. Wanamaker, Brown, blocked by Ibaka. Brown back, tries to go up. Ibaka stops him once more, and a jump ball is called, but this doesn't going to do any favors for the Celtics because the shot clock was about to expire.
Yeah, it's the second time in 2 games that we've seen a extremely late shot clock jump ball between these 2 teams.
Now, that actually should have been a goaltend on Ibaka because he hit the net as he was going to block the shot, and it probably should have technically been a goaltend, but didn't really gain any advantage out of it.
But good to see Ibaka moving well, considering the ankle issues that made him questionable for this one.
So 0.5 left. They got to get the quick catch and shoot. They don't, and it'll be Toronto ball.
And so basically that was about a minute lost for no difference.
Ojale comes back in. He's going to replace Walker. Let's see what the defense is now. Maybe they'll go to it on Tatum instead of Walker. Screen away for Anunoby. Now it's Powell coming off of 2 screens. They tried to set up some ATOs for him for 3-pointers in the last game. Anunoby, oh man, the brick shithouse got him there. Here's the drive from Brown. He's got Anunoby behind him, but Brown, nice controlled finish.
Yeah, and Jaylen Brown has 6 points already in this one. Sorry, 8.
Ibaka closed down by Tice. Forced away from the screen is Lowry. Can't get it. Yeah, some of those threes will start going down as they're going to get Lowry here with a foul on Tatum, trying to deny him post position. Yeah, he goes underneath the arm of Tatum. And
a couple of important things with that. One, Lowry's second, and considering the amount of minutes he plays, that if Nurse sits him for any time, that's significant because they don't really have replacements. And 2, off-ball foul, but because Boston's in the bonus, that's 2 free throws instead.
Yeah, so that's good footwork by Brown. That is a legal play. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of on the borderline as Tatum missing the free throw. Brown in transition on that last finish, he kind of jumps in the air. It's like sort of a jump stop, but sort of a 1-2. His feet definitely don't land at the same time. So that's what you might have an argument if you're Toronto that he walked on that one. But you can get away with a lot in those kind of situations on the fast break these days.
Yeah, especially if you beat the refs down the floor.
7-point Boston advantage. Good pressure from Ojale. Look at that defensive stance against Siakam. Now Van Vliet with Ojale switching onto him, crossing over, and nice play there by Boston, although it should reset the shot clock to 14. Take away that pocket pass.
Yeah, and we see teams kick that pocket pass all the time against James Harden when they can.
They get it into Siakam against the brick shithouse in the post. No advantage gained on that screening action for Van Vliet, but that's the first time Siakam has been able to do anything against Semi Ojale.
And I think the help there was too late from Daniel Tice. It was late clock, so you don't have to worry about Ibaka's mid-ranger. I mean, if he makes it, so be it.
There's the nice pass fanned out to Brown, who relocated. Powell came in to dig down, and that's a great look from Brad Wanamaker as Powell tried to take away the roll man.
And Jaylen Brown, 11 of Boston's 23 points so far. And when you think that Marcus Smart has 3 of their 3-pointers as well.
Oh, man, that is a weak-ass call in favor of Lowry.
Neither guy did anything.
Yeah, both of them have their arms up. The referee is pushing with his arms, but there's no push. What is he possibly calling here? Lowry's trying to bang into the guy. I mean, I guess Wanamaker kind of gets him, but Lowry is so off balance. He's got nowhere to go. That's just a weak-ass call.
Well, apparently the ball doesn't always tell the truth.
I mean, that's another one of these boy who cried wolf plays with Lowry, where he's always going to let himself fall down on a borderline one like that. Just don't give him the benefit. But 2 free throws, pulling Toronto within 6. Here's Tice. Brown off the screen, setting up Wanamaker on the drive. Tough floater there. He probably should have made the pass. Sorry, these camera angles suck. I can't do as good of a job. I'm getting riled up here. Here's Lowry, as I think it was Brown left him, and he hits the jumper. We're getting more of this? Just go back.
They're trolling us at this point.
Tatum off the screen. Ibaka out pressuring, and he picks up the foul. That's going to be free throws for Jason Tatum. And it'll be a timeout for us.
Yeah, and so Toronto now 19 points on 19 possessions. That's an even 100 offensive rating. And first of all, that's not great, but it's even worse when you realize that the Raptors have only turned the ball over once. So they've been getting a shot on every possession. They just haven't made many of them. Let's get to some of your questions. Where will CP3 end up, Philly or Milwaukee? Both of those teams have real difficulty making a big trade like that because they don't have a ton of filler salary. You can think about the lack of filler in Philadelphia. They have all of these guys with long-term contracts. Milwaukee, similar problem. Like they have some good, positive contracts, but they don't want to trade those guys. I'm thinking he ends up somewhere like New York, where it's not necessarily what I would do, but I think that's more in line with maybe where Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose want to go.
Why do you guys think Terrence Davis has been yanked from the Raptors rotation? Well, he's not as good as Lowry and Van Vliet, and those guys are playing a ton of minutes. He's not as good as Norm Powell, who has some playoff equity. I think he makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, they don't trust him on defense. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're switching schemes every few possessions and potentially at the drop of a hat, you can't have somebody on the floor who might not pick all that up. And Davis, he's just not. I'm not saying he doesn't have the capacity. I'm just saying he's not as adept as all of the other guys because we've seen them do it.
Yeah, he's a rookie, and I think there is an argument that his dynamic ability to get to the basket might be helpful in this series, but maybe you could say they should have tried him. But I think it's pretty clear that they want to just go with Lowry and Van Vliet. I mean, even Powell is struggling to get on the floor at times.
From Schmeezy Breezy, do you think that Billy Donovan is a coveted head coach after his 5-year stint with the Thunder? Yes, even though I disagree with it. This was an interesting line of conversation you and I had last night on Dunked on Prime about, the argument that I got into, or the point that I got into, we didn't disagree, was I don't know what type of team Billy Donovan is best for. I don't think he pushes a competitive team over the edge. I don't think he's particularly great for a super young team, but he finished second in coach of the year. He hasn't really done that much that was wrong, especially when you consider some of the sins of his predecessor, let's call it. So I think that he is more highly regarded than he should be.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Like, what does he do well as a coach? Other than, I mean, I think he's a good representative of the organization. Like, he's a classy guy, but he's not, to me, there's little you can point to in his career where you're like, oh man, that was awesome. That, whether it's playoff innovations, whether it's dealing with superstars. KD didn't really like playing for him. If his Instagram comments meant anything.
From Glenn Simonson, does Nate McMillan get another chance? I think so. I am of mixed emotions on his firing, but and he's I don't think Nate McMillan is a top 10 coach in the league, but I also think teams could do a lot worse. And I would probably roll the dice most of the time on an untested assistant on the idea that some of them will become very good, but he will get another chance, and I'll be happy about it.
So we're back here. Raptors defense shored up a little bit after the timeout, although Tatum will have 2 free throws. I think they have not given up any further corner threes since the last timeout. Although, correct me if you recall any more of them.
Nope, still 5.
Tatum gets the first. So it's Ojale, Tatum, Brad Wanamaker, as they're talking about Gordon Hayward and the fact that he has returned, cleared quarantine today, but doesn't appear to be that close with that ankle yet. Walker is back. Let's see what the defense is when he returns. He's guarding Powell. Lowry backdoor. Ibaka, not a strong passer, missed him. Here's Siakam. They go under on him, not his shot, and he bricks it. Well, that might be his shot in his series, which is kind of a problem. So it's Powell guarding. Yeah, it looks like they are back. No, they are not in the zone here. Walker finding Tice. Ojale, tough 3 over Anunoby. Good defense there by the Raptors. Ibaka did well in pick and roll defense. Usually he's been cooked by Walker. They're trying to get him far enough out on the floor that Walker has to give it up. Here's Lowry into Tice, squirts out, but Siakam is there. No, they're going to get an offensive foul on Pascal Siakam. I think he gave Wanamaker a shove on this one.
He gave Jason Tatum a shove, so that's a side of the backbreaker. And also, Siakam grabbed Tatum's arm when he was earlier on when he was trying to get him out of position.
Yep. So Tatum will have to
call.
hit some free throws. 2 of 4 is uncharacteristic for him.
And it's also worth it. I mean, we've talked about Jason Tatum's ability to get to the free throw line. So he had 2 right now on basically a defensive rebounding foul, and as he misses again. And he got 2 on the floor. I think do you remember whether his first 2 were a play around the basket or whether those were bonus related too?
I don't think it was a shooting foul. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's still, that's just, I mean, he's a damn good player, but that's just not a strength of his game just yet.
Robert Williams in the game. So it's Williams, Ojale, Tatum, Wanamaker, and Walker. Interesting group out here.
Yeah, and watch Williams guarding Serge Ibaka. That's a huge storyline to the next minute 30.
Raptors run a little weave action that goes nowhere. Now it's Van Vliet attacking Williams, trying to draw the foul. He can't. Gets back out, tries to lob it. Good job by Ojale fronting that. Now, nice defense by Walker on Powell. Van Vliet's going to have to jack it from way out, and that'll be a shot clock violation.
And that was a better job by Robert Williams. I criticized the Raptors for not testing him there. They were looking more for the Serge Ibaka post up on Ojale than really Van Vliet going one-on-one and making Robert Williams move his feet.
Yeah, and I thought, he's struggled in that. Is there now? Let's see if they're going to trap Tatum against the sideline. He gets out of it, tries to drive. Wanamaker into the lane, floater, a little bit off as Anunoby. Oh, they blow the defensive rebound.
Yeah, that was a controlled tip to no one.
Siakam guarding Jason Tatum. Double team comes. That leaves Wanamaker open. He'll drive back out Tatum. Anunoby too slow with the rotation, but Tatum has really struggled shooting the ball. Now it's Siakam looking for a transition attempt. Oh, what a block! Tatum just sized him up.
It was kind of slow motion for a chase down, but I guess that's the closest thing for it.
Siakam wants it back. Double comes from Williams. Three-pointer, Ibaka. That's off. Powell over Tatum as he was perilously close to another loose ball foul, but got away with it. Late clock now. Let's see if they get it to Walker, who's been unbelievable in these situations. Nope, Ojale doesn't look that way. Instead, it's Wanamaker. Wide open three. Celtics have not had the touch on some of these open ones, but what a save from Williams, and they'll have a chance with 3.1 left to make good on that miss.
We had a nice job of Robert Williams there of planting his left foot, grabbing the ball, and then throwing it before his right foot touched. And I think he actually got that off.
All right, here's the inbound. They're looking for Tatum. Instead, it's Walker in the corner. Goes for the tough step back. Did not have the space that time. And while he's hit 4 or 5 buzzer beaters in this series, that one did not work.
And so we enter the quarter break 25-21 in favor of the Boston Celtics. And one thing that's striking to me, both teams with true shooting well below 45%, 43% for the Celtics, 40.3% for the Toronto Raptors. And part of that is because it's been a low turnover, high offensive rebound affair so far.
Do we ever disagree? Maybe like 5% of the time. What would you say our disagreement rate is?
We had a podcast on the young cores where we spent most of the time arguing, which was really different. I would say like a lot of our disagreements, 5 to 10%, I think is about right, are more in kind of severity rather than the purely foundational differences.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we've both adapted a lot, and I think a lot of that is also we spend a lot of time, and also I think we're both reasonably good arguers, and so I think sometimes we convince the other to move to our stance when we initially disagreed. Let's see.
We disagreed on Simmons versus Mitchell for Rookie of the Year. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, who do you think is better right now, Simmons or Mitchell?
I don't think we've picked I think we've only picked the same sixth man of the year like once in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's the hardest award though. That and most improved, because there are just so many six men who are right around the same level usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that reminder, Colin.
Get clamped. How has James Harden's performance against the Lakers changed your opinion of him as a player? I don't know that it particularly has yet. I mean, there's still at least some time for that to happen. Has it changed anything for you?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, not every series is a referendum, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Niku Mystery brings up the point that Jason Tatum is 1 for 7 from the field. I think he had this earlier. 1 for 7 from the field, missed all 3 of his threes, and 3 for 6 from the line. So Tatum 5 points on 10 shooting possessions.
Yeah, and really he's had some chances to do more and just hasn't been able to take advantage.
How did we meet? We were so I've been covering the Warriors with a credential since the 2009-2010 season. I was actually in law school at the time. Nate started a few years later, and I kind of had a point of trying to talk to everybody, and we got along well. We have in many ways similar backgrounds, and so the first podcast Nate ever did was Real GM Radio, and we kind of always stayed in contact. And then when Nate wanted to start a daily podcast, I actually was unavailable at that time, but then when we actually started, I had become available. And originally I was going to be on maybe once or twice a week, but then it became harder to find people who were available at like 1 a.m. Pacific time.
That wasn't my recollection. I thought you were always on board, but that was 5 years ago. So,
well, no, it was. I mean, because I moved to DC right
Yeah.
as you were originally going to start it. So, and then I couldn't do the show there as much as I was a high functioning insomniac. Then I couldn't.
I guess that's true. I guess it wasn't really. You didn't know that you were coming back when you went to
Right.
DC, right? Yeah.
No, yeah. Will League Pass ever be good? Yeah, I mean, I certainly have hope for it, and it would be wonderful should we have the opportunity to help make it better. We'll see if that happens.
All right, we're back here now, and this is a chance where the Raptors usually have played pretty well in this early second quarter stint. Looks like it's back to the box and one with Van Vliet guarding Walker. They bring him off a bunch of screens, and so Powell just switches onto him. That's going to get Wanamaker on the drive. He's been ineffective on the drive so far, but he sets up an open Brown three. I mean, the Celtics are getting pretty good shots here. Now they don't get back, though. Now they do. And they'll have to reset in the dreaded half court for the Raptors. Siakam handing off Van Vliet. They do not switch that well enough, but the few open threes the Raptors have had have not gone down. Here's Wanamaker. Backs it up. Wants the screen again from Williams. Now he gets past Ibaka. Ibaka with the block, but Williams cleans up with authority.
And something to keep in the back of your mind, per cleaning the glass, both these teams have around a 70 offensive rating in the half court so far.
Powell against Walker, who's defended well in this series. Powell trying to go at Williams, almost traveled and scores over him barely. Man, Rob Williams, his arms are incredibly long.
And that was a pretty good kind of second jump of sorts for Robert Williams as well.
Smart is back in. Wanamaker back to Smart. He wants the screen to involve Ibaka. Oh, man, Smart way too late on that pick and pop for Wanamaker. This is a terrible possession. Smart's going to have to just create something out of nothing. Brown against Van Vliet. They get the offensive foul here. That seemed a little touchy.
We didn't have unless there was something we saw that was on a different angle, that looked pretty soft. Is that 3 blocks for Ibaka already?
Might be.
Yeah, it is.
Powell takes the 3 over Williams, who got another. I mean, how close his hands get to these guys. It's got to surprise him. Brown pulling up in transition, and Jaylen Brown hits that one to extend to a 6-point lead. Siakam trying Brown again. Back to goal. Williams looking to help out just a little bit. Siakam going to his spin move. Left hand squirts out. Anunoby right over Smart, who could not contest lest he pick up his third.
Yeah, and Anunoby has been really effective on the offensive glass.
So, yeah, I mean, they are really keeping Walker completely out of this game right now. Like, he's not even getting touches. But instead, they can just drive to the basket like that with Jaylen Brown blowing by Serge Ibaka. And, I mean, the difference between this Boston team and what the other team that they deployed a bunch of box and one at, the Warriors last year, is they have a ton of guys who can make plays. 4-on-4 is reducing the number of defenders out there generally is not an advantage for the defense. Powell against Wanamaker. Williams looking to come over and help, but didn't even need it. Wanamaker, I think he claimed that Powell just lost it. Man, look where Jaylen Brown is taking off from on that finish. Just beautiful. Right at the dotted line around Siakam with the left hand. That's just incredible.
And that was a nice contest by Siakam as well.
Late clock, it's Anunoby. He's the only guy who's been able to make a 3 so far, but he couldn't get that one. What is Toronto shooting from 3 right now? It's got to be awful.
It is 2 of 13.
Now Braun against Anunoby, not really an advantage matchup. He'll take the difficult fader, and it drops again. Man, Jaylen Brown, how has he turned it from that brutal game 4?
Yeah, I believe this is already the second game in a row that he's had more points than game 4 at halftime.
Finally, Van Vliet gets open. He cannot hit it. And Fred Van Vliet has had his chances so far in this game, but it's been a struggle.
I think the refs just did something that I actually kind of support sometimes, which is it could have been an over the back foul on OG Anunoby that led to Jaylen Brown being the last one to touch it. So just give the ball to Boston. You don't have to call that a foul. It was really on the borderline. So just give him the ball.
Yeah, that's a legendary refereeing trick. So Walker trying to screen here as Lowry is back in. Brown feeling it. Way short, though. A little quick on that shot over Ibaka. Now it's only the 2 guards back. And, wow, man, the Raps are just missing layups right now. Here's Walker looking to take advantage in transition. Wanamaker off the dribble. Yes.
And if Boston's support players are making these threes, I mean, a lot of them have been clean looks, but that's just going to be a huge problem for Toronto because they're challenging in many circumstances those players to beat them, and right now they are. But I think we should tell them about your way that you can beat the sports books, and that's with our friends at bookies.com. If you are over 21, especially if you're in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or elsewhere where online sports betting is legal, you can wager on the game right now. Go to bookies.com/NBA for the best sign-up deals, live odds. We both love their live updating page and their expert picks. So check it out.
Yeah, definitely follow them at Bookies on Twitter. Get the expert stuff from Adam Thompson and Mark Stratman. And we'll, of course, tell you what the halftime line is coming up when, it's halftime. So, I mean, I think, like, what's your opinion of Toronto's defense so far here? Like, has that been good enough and just the offense sucks again?
No,
I
it
agree
has.
with you.
I mean, especially because like a lot of the shots that Boston has missed some shots in this game that have been clean looks. And even that, I mean, Boston. So if we're looking at it, they have a 116 offensive rating, and yeah, I don't think it's been particularly strong. To me, it feels a little gimmicky when you consider that Toronto has the personnel to just play these guys straight up. I'm not one of those who thinks a zone is for cowards or anything silly like that, but a zone is for creating worse looks than you could do in man to man.
Yeah, and this you're not going to necessarily like pressure up and force turnovers, which they really need to get into transition as well. So, I think when you look at the numbers, and John Schumann wrote about this today, that Walker when he's on the floor, Boston has a 112 offensive rating, which Toronto is just not going to get to that in this series. So you can make the argument that when Walker's on the floor, they needed to do something differently. But again, this is not last year's Warriors with Steph Curry on the floor and nobody else. They got Jaylen Brown who can make plays. They got Tatum. Even someone like Wanamaker has more ability than what the Warriors had last year. So there's it's going to be difficult, I think, to stick with this. I credit them for not giving up immediately and saying, all right, we're going to take away the corner threes. They've done a better job with that now, but then you throw in their struggles rebounding out of the zone, and I think I probably would go back to man-to-man, although they have done some man-to-man as well. They did that early in the second quarter where they were trying to pressure up on Walker and take the ball out of his hands and pick and roll.
I'll try to do these two quick. From Think Like Mike, do the Celtics have the full mid-level available this offseason? If Gordon Hayward opts in, as we both expect, I think they might be too close to the tax to use it, because using the full, meaning the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, that hard caps you. It's one of the many things that does. So that might be a little bit dicey. I'd have to do the actual math. But then this one from Hank Strongberg, taking out the friendship with Harden aspect, what move could the Rockets make to trade Westbrook and improve their title odds? Trading Westbrook is insanely hard because there is so much money on the books. And I don't necessarily know who's doing that, especially when they would have to have long multi-season salaries. Nobody's giving up their 2021 flexibility for Russell Westbrook at 40 plus million for 3 more years.
Yeah, and the way he's played in these playoffs obviously have not been a great advertisement for acquiring him. All right, we're back here. Williams remains on the floor. He's had a nice long stint. Powell running off the screens. Instead, they go to the weak side to Lowry. He's against Williams, and Williams lost contact with him. That's not good enough from Rob Williams and he is very scared of picking up a foul on Lowry, but there is no reason to just like slough off there. Looks like they're still in the box in one. Smart against Ibaka has space along the baseline. If he chooses to take it, he does take it into the lane. Wanamaker open. Another three from Brad Wanamaker, who his shooting has been so important to Boston this series. He had 15 in the last game, and he's been outstanding. There's Lowry going through the arm of Wanamaker, and I believe that's going to be free throws.
I thought I saw the rip-through motion, but I'm honestly not sure.
Well, and so there you see what the issue is with the zone, right? Ibaka is guarding Smart, and I probably should just play him straight up, but he's forcing him to the baseline, maybe as you would in a man-to-man, but there's not really any kind of help there with this zone, and then they had to totally collapse and give up an open three. Van Vliet against Williams, getting past him into the lane, tries it. Wow, what a finish.
Yeah, and we've seen some really strong finishes from Van Vliet, including in that super memorable Game 3 finish.
Yeah, he's also missed a few. I mean, he's not the greatest finishing guard, but he's gotten better in that area. Jaylen Brown slips the screen. No advantage gained off of that. Now it's Smart trying Anunoby. Whoa, nice lob to Williams. Wanamaker on the drive. Lowry goes down. This is going to be an
Thank
easy
God they
dunk.
didn't call that crap. I don't think he got hit that hard. Maybe I'm wrong, and I will apologize if I am, but it didn't look like there was anything.
Yeah, that could be a flop warning right there. And Nurse is going to get a timeout to complain about this as Matt Thomas is going to come in. Let's watch this here.
Oh,
no, he got it pretty good. Although there was also the accentuation after the call was a bit much.
Yeah, but I will withdraw my. That was a harder hit than I thought. I thought it was a brush when I saw it originally.
Well, maybe it's finally the flopping is catching up to him a little bit. And I think this timeout could even be for the purpose of trying to get the referees to review this. But Boston leads it by 12. We'll get another look.
That's a really interesting. This is a question that might be too big for an NBA cast, but it's an interesting one from Bryce Loomis. Which team has the most positive value contracts? Does Boston have an argument? And off the top of my head, they do. I mean, one of the easy shorthands is teams that have a lot of guys on rookie scale deals. But yeah, I could see that off the top of my head. Dallas is another team that has a lot of positive value contracts. Let's see.
I mean, when you consider, like, we haven't talked about this enough, and we should hit on it more, but, I mean, 2 guys in a 7-man playoff rotation that they basically got out of Europe just off the street for the minimum. Tice and Wanamaker?
Yeah. Well, and remember, like we didn't know Tice's game very well, but that Boston, it looked like they had some lofty aspirations, and that was the summer of 2018, I believe, and they ended up with Tice. But I mean, it's worked out beautifully.
Trying to set up Siakam in the post now looks like a little Spain type pick and roll. They can't get that either. Boston just takes it away. They settle for the Ibaka drive here on Wanamaker. Back out Van Vliet. Good rotation from Wanamaker, and Van Vliet off again. That was a difficult one though.
And that was helped by the recovery was helped by Ibaka throwing a super slow pass.
Brown off the screen. Ooh, a little short.
Again, his feet weren't under him. He rushed that shot.
Yeah, I would have liked him to go at Ibaka in that drop coverage. Now it's Ibaka off the drive by Lowry.
And it took almost like, it feels like 8 minutes of live action to get there. But that was the shot I've been waiting for Toronto to have since Williams and Ibaka were in together.
Yeah, Nick Nurse talked about that shot is be available, and Ibaka is shooting excellently. Smart against Siakam, going to try him. Swing it back. Wanamaker against Thomas. 2 old European guys against each other. Now it's Braun. They got to help here. Braun just shoots over him, way short. Good defensive possession for the Raptors. Looked like they're in more of a 2-3 type of look. Or they might have still been in the box in 1. And then Ibaka again. So finally they get some threes. Stevens will take a timeout. Tatum has been out basically since like the start of the quarter, so he's going to come back. Boston should surely be the fresher team down the end.
And remember something you and I have talked about a lot in this series, Robert Williams towards the end of his stints, but this shot was there more often, but we've seen 2 wide open threes for Ibaka. And Dayton Tice, I mean, it's weird to me that he hasn't been in. There are only 5 minutes left in this quarter. It's not like Tice is in foul trouble. He has 0 fouls.
Just catching up on some of the stats here if you want to take a question or two.
What do you think is the trade value of Zach LaVine is? I think of him as I think he makes about $18 million a year. I have him as a slight negative just because I think players like him, it's sort of a weird version of the Kendrick Nunn argument where it's like he brings something to the table, but what he brings just is less valuable than guys who are better than LaVine. But it's not. But I think that the league sees him as a positive value contract, if not a big one, but a modest one.
Yeah, we've got. Sorry, go ahead, Danny.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Got a one on the hashtag NBA Cast on Twitter. Who should the Bulls hire as their next coach? Without knowing that much of the candidates who have had jobs before that have been rumored, I would certainly favor Kenny Atkinson. I would say among those.
Yeah, they need development. Their personnel isn't great for the defensive scheme that Atkinson has done before, but there could be some changes to get it closer. What was the hesitation about Luka? Why did he go 3? Well, you and I both had him number 1. I think what it was, and this happens sometimes, is the if you look at the eye test versus production, like DeAndre Ayton versus Luka is one of the more extreme eye tests before, because Luka, if you didn't watch him play, you just like looked at him, he doesn't necessarily, he doesn't have great measurables necessarily, he has good size for somebody who handles the ball a lot, and Ayton, physical freak in all of those respects. And then Bagley, that was an indefensible pick at the time. It continues to be. And it was a little bit weird to me. I mean, you and I talked about this, and you talked about it with Schmitz, and I talked about it with Gavoni on our respective podcasts, about how the skepticism was a little bit interesting, because Luka Doncic was the most accomplished young player, whether we're talking college or the pros, really. I mean, you could argue since Kareem, or maybe even including Kareem. And yet, for whatever reason, there felt like there was more risk in his case. So we got to
go ahead.
So go ahead.
I was just going to note that the Raptors are 7 of 17 in the paint right now, where they have continued to struggle against a team that you wouldn't think they would, right? Like, this isn't a team that's like has all these great shot blockers, but yet they're really forcing some misses down there. But yeah, where were you going?
This is an interesting question from M. Joakim. My NBA fandom is in free agency. Who do I root for? And I would, so a couple of things to think about. One, that's a great time to get League Pass and just really watch a lot of teams. And it's, the team that you enjoy watching the most, or the single player. Dallas is a pretty good one. I think that Luka is a wonderfully fun player. But really, any of those teams with like a young ball handler that you think is the most interesting and exciting, especially if their game timing lines up for you. Like, so that could be Atlanta, that could be Memphis with Ja. Any of those, I think that's where you look.
I don't know. Just go to the team that has the most cap space. Get your money. All right, Tatum is back. Tice was open on the roll. They couldn't get it to him. Now Thomas comes over, swinging around. Smart in the lane. Stopped by Ibaka. Brown, he's stopped as well. Now they're in transition. Thomas can look to pull up here. Instead, he gets Lowry. Van Vliet, he'll drive it instead of taking the open three. Thomas stepping in. This rotation from Boston is fantastic. Although I thought Toronto passed up shots, and now they're in the half court again. Siakam trying to find it. Smart with a great deflection. I mean, you can't pass up those shots if you're Toronto, because you're not going to get other ones. Boston is just too good recovering.
Yeah, and so now they had a 5-on-3, and now we're at 6 seconds left, and they have to rush to get a shot.
Let's see. I think Boston might be in their 2-3 look here now on the baseline out of bounds. Trying to get it into Ibaka. Smart makes the catch difficult. Now they match up into a man-to-man. Van Vliet has to gun it from way out, and Tice clears the board.
Very low foul quarter. Toronto hasn't committed a single one so far in the second.
Here's Walker off the screen. Siakam had switched onto him. Now it's Tatum. Nice leave for Tice. What a pass. Beautiful backhanded look. How do you think Matt Thomas has changed the game since he's come in, if at all?
I don't think he's changed it that much.
Ibaka again. And yes, now we'll see. I think this one, he had started the shooting motion before the foul takes place with Tice going through Lowry. But always tough on these. It seems like they usually default into the following. Yeah, here's the foul. Ooh. I think they're probably going to rule that this happened before he started the shooting motion. But we'll have an interminable review to find out, I would assume. With 3:55 left in the quarter.
We can answer this one from Thermi65. Do you guys still play pickup from time to time? I do not. I have shitty knees, and so I've largely retired. I hit a mediocre game-winning shot at Nike one time, and I just said I'm done, and I actually haven't played a full pickup game since.
Yeah. Well, I had a great assist to set up your mediocre game-winning shot.
Yeah, that's true. You had a much better pass than my shot. And you've played since. I've actually called you playing since, but I don't know if we count that media tournament as pickup games.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot harder than a pickup game. So they are going to give him the 4-point play. It'll be a free throw for Lowry.
And that's good. I think they should call that a 4-point play.
But Doesn't matter in the end because he missed the free throw. Although I guess it would have wiped out the three, so it doesn't matter. Smart attacking Van Vliet, going at Ibaka. Ibaka, although he did foul that time, he has been very good defensively. And I think if you were Nurse, would you consider starting him in the second half?
Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, go ahead.
Though I would consider pulling him early and bringing him back for the Williams minutes. I like, as Nurse, I like Ibaka against Robert Williams more than Ibaka against Tice.
First free throw from Smart. Yeah, so Thomas is playing over Norm Powell here and playing over Anunoby here just to get some more shooting on the floor. And I think I like the theory behind that to just open things up for the drive. Good defense by Wanamaker here. Thomas off the screen. Guns it. A little short, though. Because at least then you got to guard him in a way that maybe you don't with Anunoby. But he does have some defensive deficiencies as well. Smart on the back door. Goes at Thomas. Good help, though. Swings it. Wanamaker, quick release. Brad Wanamaker misses that one. 7-point advantage. Van Vliet going at Tice. Goes for the twisting reverse. Tice has done such a good job of not fouling in this series. Oh, what a Euro by Braun. He is devastating in transition. That's one of the things I like best about him back in his college days.
And that's such a great counter to guys trying to get the charge, is just move around them so they can't take it.
Thomas off the handoff. Smart switches onto him. Thomas with the pull-up off the glass. But 2-point jumper like that, I think Boston will take it. He is adding a different element, though, because you see the way Jaylen Brown has to guard him. He can't really have any help responsibilities. And now Tatum is fouled. That'll only be the second of the quarter, however.
Yeah. So, and we're a couple minutes, we're 30 seconds away from the 2 minutes above. So, you know, it matters because it is another foul on it's only on Matt Thomas, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's the Euro step really evolved when defenders started to take charges. That's where the Euro step really became useful, because if you're in more of a shot blocking posture on the Euro step, then you're kind of taking yourself out of your most explosive jump with that move as Braun gets the wedgie. No, they wanted to say it was a foul, but it's not. This will be a jump ball. But if the guy's going to kind of deactivate and try and take the charge, particularly a small guard, if you can step around him, it doesn't matter that it's harder to jump after you've made that big step, because that's not what the guy's going for.
Yeah, and a smaller guy in particular can't recover back anyway.
So it'll be a 24-second shot clock for Boston as they control on the tip. Tatum has been quiet. I mean, that was a weird play to come over and screen for him with the bigger guy that he can't isolate against as well. Walker finally gets an open look. He's done so little here. Anunoby, as Wanamaker, continues to scrap, but Toronto comes away with it. Lowry with the step-up screen. Good defense again. I mean, Wanamaker getting back there, the communication was just outstanding.
Well, and forcing Siakam to pick up his dribble.
Powell tries against Walker, who's defended him quite well. Walker, despite the lack of offensive fireworks, has not given up an inch defensively. Now they want to get Thomas involved on Walker. He gets past him. That sets up Tatum's three-pointer. Yes, great job there, as we'll see whether Thomas stays in. Boston targeting him with Walker is a great way to take advantage.
Yeah, and a lot of times there, it's not to necessarily create the advantage for Walker, but to create the necessity to bring help.
Oh, and there's Lowry. Finally, they get an off-the-dribble three. Walker got hung up on the Anunoby screen. Let's see if they go right back at Thomas again. Yeah, that's what they're doing here. Walker in the ISO. Oh, and Jaylen Brown cut back door. Brad Stevens saying it got deflected, and that's why the pass was so bad, but the referee's not in agreement. Big stretch here for Toronto. Is this going to be a double-digit lead, or are they back in contact? Lowry, again, they late switch it. Lowry has had to touch on those 2-point jump shots when the big man gives him just enough airspace.
Yeah, and so to cut it from 10 to 5 with another minute to change this margin.
They're going to go after Thomas again. No, it looks like it's Tatum. Yeah, here now. Yeah, good pre-switching by the Raptors to keep Thomas out of the play. Wanamaker on the drive. Tried to leave it for Tice. Great job by Siakam getting back to disrupt. Now it's Thomas on the right. Instead, he throws it the wrong way. Powell mishandles, but puts it in anyway. And this is an 8-0 run by Toronto from 50 to 40, and they're right back in it now. They're going to try and keep Thomas out of the action again. Siakam pre-switching. Now Wanamaker gets out of the way. Tatum can't get rid of it. Good cut by Wanamaker, though. Brown on the drive, and he's hacked.
Yeah, but this is a huge run. 2 Kyle Lowry jump shots, then a Norm Powell 3. And before that, Toronto was, I think they were 5 of 19 on threes, and now they're up to 7 of 21, which is significantly better.
Yeah, Brad Wanamaker really has earned Stevens' trust. He is only 2 out of 7, but 2 of those are three-pointers as Braun hits the first free throw, and Smart will replace Tice so they can switch everything here defensively on the last possession. But that was just a great chess match. First, they're trying to keep Thomas out of it. Then they get him in. Wanamaker with a great cut after they double-teamed Tatum, and that's what set up that Brown drive. 4-point Boston advantage as Toronto will run it down for the last shot of the half. Nurse tells Thomas to go the other way. They want Lowry to attack Tatum. He has to give it up. Powell is open over Wanamaker. Short, and Boston rebounds to secure a 4-point advantage for halftime.
So Nate and I are going to take a short, let's call it about a 10-minute break, and we will come back. We will give you the halftime line when we get back. We will also preview the second half of what is now a more exciting Game 6 between the Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics.
Welcome back to the NBA cast presented by bookies.com. And Toronto back in this one, closing with a 12-2 run at the end of the half. The big news, Kemba Walker played 20 minutes but is only 0 for 3 with 2 turnovers and 2 assists. They've taken him out of it with that box and one, but Boston hasn't done a ton to get him involved. I think they're happy with the quality of shots that they're getting. He is a 8 out of 20, or they are 8 out of 23 from 3. Toronto finally hit a couple towards the end of the half with Lowry and Ibaka. They are 7 of 22 from 3. But before we talk more about the second half, let's tell you about bookies.com. The halftime line per bookies.com has the Celtics favored by 4.5, and they are minus 210 on the money line. So the line has the Celtics extending their lead by half a point. And the Raptors are plus 163. New over-under for the game is only 204.5. Check out bookies.com every day during the NBA playoffs for daily expert picks from Mark Stratman and Adam Thompson. And, of course, during each game for the latest live odds and the best legal sports betting deals anywhere.
And as we expected, this game has been a real challenge for both teams in half-court offense. Per Quinny in the Glass, as of right now, Boston has about an 83 offensive rating in half-court situations, and Toronto has a 71.7. One of the big differences is that Boston has been able to get out and run more often. A lot of that is because of missed shots by the Toronto Raptors, because Boston has run on 26% of live rebounds, where the Raptors have only run on 6% of those.
And taking a look at the shot charts, the Raptors really struggling in the paint, only 7 out of 18, 6 of 13 in the restricted area. Boston not a ton better. They are 8 out of 17, but neither team shooting it particularly well. And I really want to see what's going to happen with Gasol. Is he going to start? He got the Keith Bogans for the first time that I can remember, and they went with a super small lineup right at the end as well. So I'm really interested to see what Nick Nurse is going to do here, if he's going to bench Gasol completely in this half, because Ibaka really gave them some desperately needed rim protection. I thought Gasol struggled a little bit with his mobility in that zone. And, of course, Ibaka's lack of hesitation from 3. He shot it over 50% from 3, whereas Gasol has yet to make a 3 in this series.
Well, and another way to think about this is how much Toronto has really struggled from long distance in this game. Kyle Lowry 2 for 4, but Fred VanVleet missed all 6 of his. Powell's 1 for 3, and his last make was the last made shot for Toronto in the half. Siakam missed his only one. So Serge Ibaka's 3 of 4 is a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah, there is Ibaka. It doesn't look like he'll be starting the half. They're sticking with Gasol, and they're sticking with the box one. They want to run the first play for Kemba. No real advantage gained out of that. They screen away for him again, and VanVleet, with no help responsibilities, not leaving him. There's Gasol with his first play of the game, though. They set up Tatum, who, again, is struggling to finish, particularly with Gasol in the game. Here's VanVleet, trailed by Walker. Gasol, the pick and pop. Yes, he got started with the block, and now he's brought Toronto within 1. That's a big, big shot for Marc Gasol. Walker gives it up. Smart on the drive. Gets the man on his back. Spinning in the lane. And I think we're going to get a foul call here. Gasol gave a little shove to Tice as Tice was trying to set that moving Gortat screen.
And that is a personal foul on Marc Gasol. That is his second. Nobody in the game has more than 2, and a bunch of guys have 2. So nobody's in real difficulty just yet.
Gasol, of course, really, I think, extended his career. It was the 16-17 season, I want to say, where Gasol really started shooting the 3-ball more. Let's see if we can catch this. Yeah, Gasol gets the arm up on Tice as he's kind of trying to set that moving screen, and then he also slaps at Marcus Smart. upon hearing the whistle blow. Are they looking at this for a potential flagrant? Perhaps so, but it should not be.
No, it shouldn't be. The contact was with Tice's shoulder entirely.
So nothing further in the penalty department there. Jason Tatum, to me, has really got to play better offensively for the Celtics team. He does have 4 assists, including that beautiful backhand to Tice, but his finishing hasn't been great. He hasn't hit shots either. Smart has to step back. Tough shot. And I thought he had more time than that.
Well, and that's so different from the ones he was making in the first half.
Lowry back to Gasol, not looking to shoot that one. Brown forces Anunoby away from the screen. That gives him the runway into Tice, who stops him again. Tice, another great defensive play without fouling. Now it's Smart over Lowry in transition from the wing. Marcus Smart starting this half like he did the first half. And Smart, with his foul trouble, was not able to guard Lowry that much. But now he's getting a chance to do that more. Siakam, Walker tried to sneak in, and he gets the foul call.
And these early fouls could loom large if Toronto can get into the bonus because they've struggled so much in half-court offense otherwise.
I really think Boston should look for Jaylen Brown against the zone. He can attack the rim the hardest out of any of these players when he doesn't have someone directly in front of it. Here's Van Vliet. They double team down low, and I don't like that decision, Danny,
Didn't need
double
to do
team. Yeah, with 5 on the shot clock to give it up one pass away. Siakam has struggled. Make him turn over Jaylen Brown and make a tough shot. Here's Tice going backdoor beautifully against Gasol. Let's see if we can see what got him open. Yeah, it was just the zone. Again, Gasol had to react to Smart, who has passed it well in this game. Having the additional ball handling of Marcus Smart is an underrated part of his skill set. Now they want to screen Siakam. They get through it. No advantage gained against Brown. Now he goes to his right. Into Tice. Nice finish. And they're going to give him a foul call on this too?
They are.
I think it was Brown up top who got charged with it, but he never put it back down, so the continuation will send Siakam to the line for a free throw. And Brown here, we've seen him do a good job of keeping Siakam off his right hand, but that time was not able to do so. Siakam missing that free throw, though. Toronto yet to take a lead, but they are within 1. This seems like it's going to be a massive fight down until the end. Boston has tried to get Walker going on a couple of plays. Now they get him going to the weak side, so Lowry just switches over, and he becomes the box and one guy. Just great execution. Now it's Tice. Right down the lane for the dunk, though. And with Gasol having to get out on the floor, he's just not as good at that, at preventing that pass to Tice.
Well, and that made Fred VanVleet the low man, and he couldn't do anything to deter Daniel Tice there.
And Tatum has really struggled to score, but his vision, seeing over the defense for these passes, has been excellent. They're trying to get a little flex action here. Smart just takes that away. Gasol on the drive, and they're going to get another touch foul with Tice. Got the forearm onto Gasol.
I believe that's 3 team fouls for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, that'll, of course, be something to monitor as the Raptors adept at drawing fouls on the perimeter. We missed, of course, the shot, but now we get a terrible camera angle to make up for it. Here's Tice again, and no, offensive foul. Lowry drew it. And that one, I thought Brown stopped pretty well. Lowry was in position, but, he's not really out of control on this play. Like, he comes, he's kind of jogging into him. Like, he's not just plowing through him. Again, that's the right call, but the wrong rule. Now Siakam forced to his left. Not as facile there, but he does set up Gasol for the little mid-ranger.
And so we'll see if Toronto can do what Milwaukee seemingly never could yesterday, which is get it close and then actually take the lead. Was it a similar score, too?
Yep. Here's Walker off the Tatum screen. Just switch on. So you see what they're doing in the box one. They'll just switch this. I think they need to set that screen with Tice for Walker. Now Walker, great job moving without the ball for a corner 3. Rare will you see Kemba Walker set up a corner 3. But Gasol really was the guy who had to stick with him that time, but not really any great rules for that. Here's Van Vliet. Bothered from behind by Tatum. He had more room than he thought. Boston looking to extend back to a 2-possession lead. Tried the alley-oop. Nice defense by Gasol. Tice gunning the pass. Tatum size advantage. Gasol again with the deflection. He's been solid here in this half.
Yeah, and that deflection hit the backboard, so it's possession for the Raptors.
Now it's Gasol feeling it after the defensive play, but that one didn't go down. And now 3 Raptors behind the play. Everyone's looking exhausted here. Brown with a big 3 that just rims out. And then Tatum gets shoved by Lowry and was not happy about it. Now it's Van Vliet pulling up from deep. And he came down holding his ankle. Let's see if we can catch what happened here. He got a little bit on.
I think that was landing zone.
Yeah, this
I think
may be a flagrant here, actually. And particularly if Van Vliet milks this call a little bit, which I highly encourage. The more you make it look like you got hurt, the more they're going to give you that. And that was a dangerous play. He's right underneath him as he lands. That should be a flagrant. We'll get a more adept look at it here. Yeah, I mean, that's right under his foot. And I don't think... I mean, let's see if we can catch what happens to his foot here. We're not going to see it.
And I mean, Van Vliet does jump forward, but not any sort of unnatural thing. There's no leg kick here.
Yeah, just a little bit of an inversion there with the tweak. And hopefully that's not... I don't like when the guy is holding higher up on his shin like that, because that means that maybe it could be more of a high ankle sprain type of thing. But no, this is a clear flagrant based on how they've been calling it. And I think it, as I said, it should be. And there's a reason they put that rule in after 2017.
We could do a question quickly from Gustavo Chalm. With the injury, Jonathan Isaac, should Orlando trade Fournier and Gordon and go for retooling next season? I think they should seriously consider it. I think that the idea of them being competitive next year largely washes away without Isaac, even though he missed a bunch of time this year. But a lot of it also depends on whether they can do something with the veterans, because if you're going to keep Vooch and some of the other guys, you're not really bottoming out.
Steve Javi confirming his belief it should be a flagrant as well. I mean, I think all you need to see is one replay on this. It's obvious.
Well, we were talking about how the players were looking gassed, and they're getting plenty of break right now.
Yeah, and there hasn't been a timeout yet either, so we're going to get a timeout right after this. It would also be nice if they could, when they do these reviews, if they could just make this the TV timeout. Sometimes they'll do that. Let's see what the ruling is. Flagrant foul, penalty 1.
Yep, it's the right call.
So this actually will give Toronto a chance to tie it on this possession. Van Vliet, an excellent free throw shooter, though he has spent little time there in this series. Actually, they can take the lead because it's 3 throws and Toronto's ball.
Yeah.
Let's see what Nurse has here for the sideline out of bounds. Van Vliet looks to be okay.
These are Grant Williams' first minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting that he didn't play at all. They try to set up the hammer play for Van Vliet, going right at... I think it ended up being Grant Williams who got confused as they interchanged. That was interesting. They had 2 guys on that backside and the guy setting the hammer screen. Now here's Walker. He'll shoot it. Misses that one, rimming out. A couple of threes for Boston have rimmed out. Here's Toronto with a 6-point possession last time. That may loom large if this goes to the end of the game. Here's Van Vliet. Oh, baby. Fred Van Vliet has 9 points in the last 2 possessions, and he has definitely found his touch now as a result of those free throws and the flagrant foul. 5-point Toronto lead all of a sudden. Walker on the drive. Williams. Marcus Smart. Great rotation by Toronto. Tatum will have to create into Anunoby. Oh, what a shot by Tatum. That was a rescue shot by Jason Tatum. They're going to go back, I think, at Grant Williams here with Van Vliet. No, instead they run the Gasol pick and roll. He's open. Pick and pop. Oh, baby. Toronto now 12 points in 3 possessions, and Brad Stevens will call timeout just to break this momentum, I think. I don't even think that they've done anything so terrible schematically in this, but it's their automatic timeout anyway, so you might as well call it.
Yeah, and so Toronto has scored as many points in the last 3 trips down the floor, 12, as Boston has scored in the first 6 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and the 3-point shooting, obviously the big variable for the Raptors, and after that brutal start, they've now made 41% of their 3-pointers, 12 out of 28. And actually, with an efficient offensive game, they've got an offensive rating now 123. This has been a very efficient game, but just a slow game as it's been in the last 2 games of this series.
For Peter Wiggin, listening to this channel has showed to be the most underrated people in the NBA are the referees. I think that there is something to that. I mean, NBA in particular, officiating is incredibly difficult. And we try to talk about how some of the things that players do to make it harder, to make it easier, and also understanding the imperfections, knowing that there are certain angles that they can't see, that they're not going to get everything perfect. So like some people that might frustrate them with the game, to me, it makes it more interesting. If this goes to a game 7, who is your favorite? Boston should have opened this up in the first half. Well, Boston did open it up in the first half. They were up by 10. It's just that the lead Toronto cut the lead towards the end. I would favor the Celtics. My general concept in a game 7 is to pick the team that I think is playing better at the moment. And even if Toronto wins this game, I think Boston's the better team.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to see what's going to happen with Kemba, and to me, the Kemba pick and roll with the big. They've run a lot of pick and rolls with or screens away from the ball, but they can switch 1 through 4 on those. So you got to set the screen with the center if you want to get any sort of a defensive reaction.
From BT, if your primary scorer is struggling in scoring, do you prefer him to be a better playmaker, assist, or better in defense to get the win? It's really context dependent, but generally speaking, they're still going to get plenty of attention, and they can still get good shots. So passing is a really good thing. You can get defense from other guys, but sure, you can make it work either way.
Chances Fred Van Vliet re-signs with Toronto?
I think it's pretty high. There aren't that many teams that have significant cap space, and especially if the Knicks end up in the Chris Paul derby, it gets even thinner. I'll go 60-40.
Yeah, it would be really interesting. I think as long as they make a competitive offer to him, he would probably want to stay. You know, if it's and anywhere that he's going to sign, they won't be as good of a team, I would think.
Yeah.
So very interesting now for Boston, trailing by 6 all of a sudden. They were up 62-58 when the flagrant foul occurred on Van Vliet. So it's been a 12-2 run, and they've done it over the course of 4 possessions. Brown sits down. He hasn't done much here in this half. Toronto 5 of 6 from 3. Screen roll to get Walker guarded by Anunoby. They tried to get Tatum backdoor off the switch. That didn't work. Now Walker swinging around. Here's Grant Williams. Big 3 from Grant Williams. Another thing they might try, which they've done a little bit to good effect, is just Kemba straight up isolating on Fred VanVleet with the floor spread. So Toronto goes to that little X action with the guards, cutting off of Gasol. VanVleet down the lane, loops a long left-handed pass. Gasol is going to get called for the foul, although he kind of was just standing there.
I think that's a no call.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I definitely don't think it's a foul on Marcus Smart, but I mean, Gasol, what exactly did he do that constituted a foul there?
I mean, he kind of moved into him a little bit.
I don't like it. And it's not like it was like a super dangerous play or anything like that. He still gave Smart place to
Well,
land.
he almost tried to take a charge on a guy going for a loose ball, which was that would be a new
Fair
low.
point.
Now Tatum tried to post up, and I think they're going to get Fred VanVleet. Yeah, just for bridging him. You see how low VanVleet tried to get on that, and VanVleet saying, "Hey, he ran into me. Watch this." Yeah, I don't see how that's a foul. Here's Tatum. Oh, man, and I like that shot for him actually further out on the floor instead of when he's taking his layups like that. So Tatum now, Boston right back in it. Lowry, deep three. Big shot over Grant Williams.
And this, I think, 6 of 7 from 3 for Toronto in the quarter.
Yeah, they are bombing away right now. They are not going down. The champs with a little more life left in them. Walker, so this is what they're doing now. With them switching, they're going to attack the box at 1 by Tatum going at VanVleet, and it's an offensive foul on Jason Tatum. I don't really see how that's a foul either.
I mean, there's some elbow contact, but he just.
I mean, that's like a natural shooting motion. Oh, no, he does go back into him a little bit. I mean, I can see that. I would prefer that to be a no call, though. Here's Siakam getting past Williams. He'll go to the foul line. The offense is really opening up here, as are the referees' whistles.
Yeah, I don't think those things are disconnected.
Yeah, so
and there was a push up there from Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, but what they're going to call, I mean, Grant Williams, you got to know this. This is fundamentals now. If you're running next to the guy on the drive, you got to just show both hands. If you get that forearm on him, it's going to be a foul on you every time.
That's true.
6 quick points for the Raptors, a 3 and a 3-point play by Siakam. They're going to go right back to the same thing again here. Tatum against VanVleet. They don't switch it this time. Walker tries to drive, lost it off the head of Gasol, I think. Now it's Lowry looking to push it. Lowry, nicely cut off by Walker. Lowry loves that drive right, spin back over his right shoulder shot. That's a difficult one, but he couldn't get that one. Here's Smart on the drive. Floats it up. Nice rebound.
I thought that was a bad settle by Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he had a chance to get it to Tatum, but couldn't do it. Now they want Siakam against Grant Williams again. I think this is an advantage matchup for Siakam. Puts him in the mix, steps back. That's really quite a settle there. He just attacked him well on the baseline. Why not just go again? I didn't like that they brought the screen over either. Just give him some space. Now Walker pulling up. Good job bothering from behind by VanVleet.
And Kemba Walker, only 1 made shot in this entire game.
Yeah, they are getting some more decent stuff by involving him, though. If they're not going to switch that play now with Tatum as VanVleet drives, bothered again by Tice. If they're not going to switch this screen roll with Kemba and Tatum, Kemba should be able to get some work done. Smart setting up Tice. Lob for Tatum. Lowry coming down to help. Nice finish. No, but it's a foul.
Yeah, and now mirroring Toronto, Boston shooting free throws the West way, including these from Jason Tatum.
Let's see if Tatum can actually make them here. Only 4 out of 7, usually an awesome free throw shooter. He had a 14 out of 14 performance in game 2. And that's a really nice pass there by Daniel Tice. And these switches with Tatum setting the screen, getting VanVleet on him. VanVleet is a tenacious defender, but Boston has done a pretty decent job exploiting that. And that also gives a chance for Jason Tatum to get going. So what has been an awesome strategic series takes yet another turn, and we'll see how Toronto decides to counter this. That is a really cute kid. Whose kid is that? I'm guessing it's Jason Tatum since he was at the foul line.
I think I don't know that situation well, but I think I would assume so. Context clues.
Let's talk about the context clues that you can get for your NBA betting at bookies.com/NBA, Danny.
Absolutely, and they are about information. So are we, and you can use that to get information to crush online bookies, whether you're betting spreads, money lines, totals, or parlays. It's all at bookies.com/NBA. And what makes it even better is that at that URL, it's live updating. So that means you don't have to look at a bunch of pages. They have all these different outlets there. And they also have the best online sign-up deals anywhere, so you can just click straight through.
Yeah, they got a good one with points bet. I'm going to tell you about that in 1 second here. No, I'm not, because I entered it in incorrectly. Oh yeah, here we go. You deposit $250 and you get $250 in free bets with PointsBet using promo code BookiesNJ. And of course, you get the expert picks of Adam Thompson and Mark Stratman as well, and you can follow them on Twitter at Bookies.
We got a couple notes that is Fred VanVleet's kid.
Ah, yes. Oh, the one is that can't be the one that was born last year.
No, I think that's the other one. I think he has two.
Well, he's got some good genes apparently.
From Corey, have you scouted Killian Hayes yet for Dunked On? We have not yet. We've only done, I think, like 6 or 7 guys. Hopefully we'll get to Killian Hayes. I have actually seen him. It was a while back. I saw him at Basketball Without Borders at the All-Star game in LA. But I'd be interested to see the film on him since then. I think he was like 16 or 17 at the time. I think I've seen him a couple other places too in person. Let's see. Most difficult finals matchup for each LA team. So for the Clippers, I think it's the Celtics because they have I think it's that their offense is maybe a little bit harder for the Clippers to stifle, to stagnate, because they have so many different creators, especially if Gordon Hayward would theoretically be ready by then. What do you think for the Lakers? Who do you think of these 3 teams they should be most scared of?
Oh man, of the East teams still remaining,
The 3 remaining East teams.
probably Boston.
That's fair. That's what I was thinking as well. Oh, they said they pushed the draft back, save more time. Yeah, that's true. We will have more with the reporting that it's going to be pushed back to around something like November 17th. We haven't done Obi Toppin yet. No, we haven't. But incidentally, I'll have to go back and watch them. I've actually done all my footage on Obi. I did it before when during the hiatus. I just had extra time, but we'll get there at some point.
All right, we're back here. Toronto 76, Boston 71. Toronto has outscored Boston 28-19 in this quarter, having done it with outstanding three-point shooting. And Tatum with another free throw after the Steve Kerr between free throws timeout fails to get him to miss. Wanamaker is in. Looks like Boston is in a 2-3 look now to take away the ATO. Siakam at the foul line, matched up against Tice. Lobs it in. What a pass to Ibaka. That was a great look. And pretty good move there to get the ball to the high post and then dump it down against the 2-3. 78-71. Grant Williams gets it to Tice at the elbow. They want to go with Tatum on Anunoby. Siakam switching on. They switch back. Tatum on the drive. Another one of those ugly floaters. And now Lowry can push it. Williams trying to get back. He can't. Powell, and he's going to get fouled by Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah, and Wanamaker wasn't quite in position. It looked like there was a body bump, and Contact. Norm Powell goes to the line. Potential to put them up 9. This is such a huge quarter for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, and Tatum and Drew Handling got to get in the lab in the offseason and get him some better floater game. And this shot has just been ugly in this series. Yeah, it was a rare fast break opportunity for the Raptors, and now an 8-point lead. I mean, it really looked like you really got to go back, Danny, to that last 2 minutes of the first half. Like Boston was in control. It was 50-40, and since then Toronto has been unstoppable. And they've got, as now there's another missed free throw, and Anunoby recovers. Oh, Tatum took it away from him. What a play. Tatum trying Siakam. Nice leave. It's Wanamaker underneath, excuse me. Tatum is open. His three. This is a big one. They need it, and he gets it.
Yeah, and Tatum took the shot instead of passing it to the corner of Jaylen Brown, but he felt confident in it, drills it.
Yeah, and I thought Toronto did not do a good enough job matching up on the backside of that play in the scramble situation. We're zoomed in like crazy, so you can't see the defense. Looks like maybe a 2-3 look for the Celtics again. Nobody's moving, so it's hard to tell if it's a man-to-man. Here's Siakam pulling up. Williams got out there pretty nicely, and not a good possession. Jaylen Brown is back. He's going to try Ibaka. Smart gets it back to him. Brown on the drive. Nice pass. Good rotation from Siakam. But this is great ball movement, and Grant Williams, big three. All of a sudden, Boston with 2 3-pointers and 2 possessions of their own, and it's a 2-point game. What ball movement by the Boston Celtics.
And that's 2 important threes from Grant Williams, who they're largely leaving open. They're trying to gum up other works. We'll see if that has any lingering effects.
Ibaka getting Williams in the air and scores. Usually Ibaka goes straight to that hook shot, but an excellent fake that time. Good patience. Screen away for Tatum. That's an adjustment they went to a lot in Game 5. Ibaka not quite switching out. Tatum can't get anything against Anunoby. Those 3-pointers off the dribble just haven't been there in this series. Toronto's taking those away. Here's Brown on the drive. Going into Siakam. Can't get the call. Here's Lowry attacking Wanamaker. Tries to draw the foul. Wanamaker with a great job not fouling. Williams on the floor, and a timeout called in favor of the Celtics. Great hustle by Williams. And now there's going to be some shit talking as Norm Powell took the ball away from Grant Williams on the floor, and everyone gets very angry about that for some dumbass reason.
Yeah, like Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder a couple days ago. So we can take some of your questions. If Boston advances, any chance Gordon Hayward will be able to contribute? We really don't know. So Hayward has cleared quarantine, but we haven't really gotten an update on his physical availability. Now, it would seem to me that Hayward would not come into the bubble, go away from his family if he didn't have a chance of coming back and playing, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, I mean, the talk of what he was doing, the report today was he's walking around in the grass trying to strengthen his ankle. That doesn't sound like a guy who's that close to me.
True. If Boston advances, do the Heat have a chance? Yes, absolutely. I mean, I would pick Boston in that series, but knowing what we know right now, but Miami would absolutely have a chance. They're playing great right now. What type of player is Hayward at this point? He's more of a oh, we're back. That was a short break.
Indeed, 23.5 remaining. Not a scheduled TV timeout, and that's basically the discretionary timeout for Boston. Smart recovers. 3-second differential. They try to set up the play now for Tatum. And Anunoby is still on him. Tatum can't shake him. And Anunoby steals. He's in transition. Ibaka behind him. He'll go in. Rejected by Tatum on the chase down. And I think Smart was out of bounds. Hopefully everyone's okay down there.
Yeah, Smart's his left foot landed out of bounds, and then he hit the stanchion hard. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, Smart, the stanchion is not going to give you a foul. Sometimes that guy just gives his body up. Sometimes in pursuit of the whistle. Tatum, his one-on-one against Anunoby, like for anyone who doubted how good OG Anunoby is, watching him against Tatum in this series, it should be eye-opening. Ooh, that right foot of Smart getting caught there, but hopefully he's okay. And now they're going to get an offensive foul here as Walker had returned and Ibaka got him, I think. But only 2 seconds left for the backcourt. They're going to get Siakam back in here for Gasol just for a little more mobility. But that was interesting that it was Gasol and Ibaka in there at the same time on that possession to maybe try and get more.
Oh, but that is Marc Gasol's 5th foul.
Oof. That's a killer to get a foul on that play. They lob it up. Brown is there, but Siakam intercepts, and that'll do it for a rather eventful third quarter that in the end is only Toronto outscoring Boston by 8. They led at most by 8 themselves, and a 4-point lead to see whether we got a game 7 in the fourth quarter.
And continuing a thread from the very, very end of the second quarter, Toronto really hitting their threes. They are now up to 13 of 31, about even with the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are 13 of 32. Both teams have made the same number of free throws. And one of the important factors here, the possession game is in favor of the Raptors, 11-5 in terms of turnovers, though I guess you could say that the 10-5 offensive rebounds pushed back the other way, except that a lot of those came on one possession for the Boston Celtics, and they did get 2 points out of it, but not like 8.
Yeah, one thing Ben Taylor is noting on Twitter is that there are a lot of wet spots with guys slipping down. Maybe that's just because there are fewer personnel around to like clean those up quickly.
It might be. Yeah, I have noticed it more. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is. And as Peter Wiggin brings up, it's also Orlando and it's super humid there in the summer. Flush fall. Whatever season it is. Considering I look outside my window, it just looks like end times. I don't know what season it is. If D'Antoni is likely leaving Houston after this season, what does he have to lose if he benches Westbrook? Well, I mean, it's not always unilaterally a coach's call. I mean, that could be what management has impact on the process. It is, all of that. And we don't know if necessarily that's what D'Antoni wants. I mean, that there's an assumption that he'd get there, but I think it's more complicated than simple.
Any chance the NBA implements extra end lines when the games return to arenas? What do you think he means by that?
I think they mean just more space, maybe more space under the basket. I wish.
That'd be great.
But I don't think so.
Yeah, if Toronto wins this game, we'll remember that crazy stretch of 9 points in 2 possessions.
Won 12-3.
Yeah. Yeah, I woke up and looked out the window this morning, thought it was still nighttime, and went back to sleep. That same thing happened to me this morning. Although I usually go to bed at like 2, so I don't get up till like 9 o'clock. But normally, but it definitely was a little weird. I was like, seems a little. Is it really this late? Yeah, it's been weird here for sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, but so the question I got before that I was going to answer was basically like, what does Gordon Hayward bring to Boston? Smart has performed better than expected. And he brings a more reliable shooting. Marcus Smart has definitely had his highs in this. And more playmaking, I think. Smart has done a really good job, but also remember that the rotation is a little bit short and fraught for the Celtics. Having another player that Brad Stevens really trusts would make a world of difference.
Yeah, although, the one thing you can say is that maybe they get a little worse defensively with Hayward out there.
Yeah, I would agree. And Wanamaker's done really well in these extra minutes, too.
Yeah, like, for example, if you have Hayward out there, maybe you go after him with Siakam. All right, fourth quarter here to see whether we got a game 7 or not. Ibaka pick and pop. Misses that as Walker got out there to at least slightly bother him. And let's see how they're going to try and get Kemba Walker going. This is the Boston starters in the game here to start the fourth. They want to get Tatum against Powell with Anunoby out of the game. I think that's a good idea. Tatum has the size advantage on Powell. Works on him. Tough fader over him. Short.
Good job by Norman Powell there.
Indeed. Ibaka screening for Lowry. Brown cuts him off but goes down. Good rotation from Smart. And then what a play by Kemba, who has continued to execute defensively. This is a wide open three from Van Vliet, and Walker not only runs Powell off of it, but deflects the pass as well. Trying to get Siakam under the basket here. That doesn't work. I thought he was open. Lowry missed him. They're not looking for the guy in that flex cut enough. Here's Lowry with a line driver from the right wing.
And he's been much more confident in his three-pointer going back to the end of the second quarter.
Back to 7 here. Walker just blowing past Van Vliet. That sets up Brown's 3 on the right wing, but Lowry with a good closeout. And that's a pretty great play by Kyle Lowry. He's all the way in, as this is going to be an offensive foul on Siakam against Smart. But Lowry on the other end, he's all the way in the lane, taking away that drive, and he still contested Brown's 3. Let's see the offensive foul. Yeah, he's right there.
And that's Siakam's third personal.
Siakam has been able to get nothing against Marcus Smart.
Jaylen Brown has 4. That's the other important one.
They're trying now to keep Walker out of the middle, away from the screen. And Brown is wide open on this backside. That's twice in a row. Walker doing a great job of getting off the ball. Ibaka late with the rotation to the corner. Yeah, it seems like they're at a new strategy now, trying to keep Walker out of the middle of the floor with Van Vliet. Van Vliet turning the corner, engages Tice. Nice play by Tatum to deflect. They're trying to throw it to the corner to Siakam, and only 6 to shoot for the Raps.
And that's another reason both of these teams are so challenging to play against, is that sometimes you think you have a pass and it doesn't necessarily become a steal, but it just gets knocked out and you have to do something else. Marc Gasol's had a couple big ones in this game.
6 to shoot. Watch Siakam here up top. The play looks like it's for him. Now they're trying to get it to Van Vliet. Tatum gets through it. Tough 3. Short. Did not get the foul call either. I thought that might have been one. But an offensive rebound. Powell stuck in the air. Wow, Siakam just turned around. Now he'll go to the Dirk fade at the foul line over Jaylen Brown, who was not ready. Now Walker, inside out dribble, blows past Van Vliet. Screen comes here. They reverse the angle. Crossover by Walker into the lane. Brown a corner 3 again. Make again. Kemba Walker starting to cook here against this Toronto defense.
And Jaylen Brown up to 27 points. He has attempted 11 three-pointers in this game.
Yeah, many of them of the corner variety. Now Van Vliet's going to try back. Late switch called by Tice, and that was poor communication there. Tice was so busy calling out the screen that Van Vliet just dribbled right by him, or calling out the switch, I should say. Right back to the same thing again with Walker off of 2 screens. Tice down the lane. Another wide open corner 3. 3 corner 3s in as many possessions by Boston.
This is 3 versus 2. 3 is greater than 2 in action. That's basically the last 5 possessions.
Van Vliet, high pick and roll again. They've had some success with this. Ibaka, his mid-ranger. A little bit long. Boston looking to tie or take the lead on this possession. Tatum, why not go back to Walker? They're getting everything they want with him. Now they'll just switch this. Let's see if they go back to Tatum now. No, they want the high screen roll with Tice. Tatum, that's what Tatum called for. Finally, they close out. Brown on the drive. Into the lane. Sets up Tatum, eluding Lowry. Bucket again. That's 4 threes in 4 possessions, and Boston now leads it.
And that was a great fake by Jason Tatum. Lowry closed out really hard. Tatum realized he had enough time on the shot clock. Gets the pump fake, fly by. Easy rhythm 3 there. Really nice job. And Siakam's close was pretty close too. I didn't realize how close that recovery was. And that also, I went briefly with that Siakam play. It's a great recognition of, oh crap, there's only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Just throw somebody out, especially when you're going that way and you have enough defensive rebounders at the rim.
Let's see here. Lakers Clippers in Staples would have been epic. Yeah, I agree.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really too bad that's not happening.
I mean, Lakers. Yeah, yeah. I mean, oh, sorry. Yeah, it would have been such a weird dynamic. I mean, I remember I've had the experience of covering those teams both having home games in the same day, and it was so strange.
Well, and the other thing is that Ethan Strauss said this, that it would be so Clippers to finally win a championship and like not be able to have like a parade and like no one in LA could ever appreciate it basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and maybe things will change for the Clippers when they have their own arena, which is pretty much going to happen at this point. How would Boston match up with Anthony Davis? That's very interesting. I think they do a pretty good job though of just not letting people get into the post. But I think they probably, I can't remember what happened in the game between those two teams, as far as like how they guarded AD. I mean, maybe Grant Williams would probably get some time, but playing as a 4-man, I get Tatum maybe, or maybe they go Tice there and put Tatum on whoever the center is for the Lakers. Yeah, that would be another one of those small ball versus big ball series for the Lakers. I think the Lakers would probably end up sizing down though.
Simon Worm says everyone likes a winner. The Clippers will get fans then. The Clippers have been a better team than the Lakers a vast majority of the last decade, and it didn't matter that much. That said, LA is a big enough sports town that they can each have enough fans. But I was in college in 2000 from '03 to '07, and I kind of wondered what it would take for the car flags to change from purple and yellow to, I guess, red, white, and blue. And I don't know what it would take. I think Lakers fans are Lakers fans for life for the most part.
Better matchup for the Heat, Raptors, or Celtics? I would say easily the Raptors,
Agreed.
just because the lack of the explosive offense and also the Heat switching system I think will work great against the Raptors, who their lack of individual creators in this series has been a struggle.
So he said, well, they never won a ring, though. Well, the Dodgers haven't won a ring in, what is it now?
Since
Over
1988.
since '88. Yeah. Yeah, I cried, even though I'm not an A's fan. Let's see.
So John Schumann, this is a great stat from him. There have been 14 times that a team has made 10 plus corner threes this season. 3 of those 14 games have been the Celtics against the Raptors in the bubble. So it's 12
Wow.
corner threes. And I mean, I think the attack, they've got back to Walker more now, but by using him in the pick and roll, as we're back here, so we'll expand on that point at a later point. They're trying to get Siakam. Yeah, that's good. They ran that kind of flex screen for him, but he blew the short floater. But that was open, and I think Nurse was like, "Hey guys, this is open. We're gonna run this again, and you look for him this time." Powell matched up against Walker, blows by him. Another wide open corner three. Smart just gives it up though. Why didn't he take that? Now Braun finding Tatum. He's along the baseline. Left-handed pass. Is he going to get it off? Smart. Short.
So they still got the open corner three.
Yeah, he had to rush it, though. Van Vliet switched onto by Braun in transition. Here's Lowry. Open three over Tatum. Big shot there off the switch. They knew they were switching. Tatum maybe could have gotten a little higher up towards the level of the ball, and that gave Lowry enough airspace. So it's the small lineup now. That's the adjustment from the Raptors, where they can switch everything. Walker attacking Van Vliet. 2 straight misses now for the Celtics, although still getting some decent looks. Lowry going to just try Tatum one-on-one here. He wants someone to come screen for him, and I guess it's Anunoby because Tice is guarding him. Behind the back. Roll man. Walker is going to foul Anunoby, and he'll have a chance to extend this 2-point Toronto lead.
Well, and that's an alternate version of something we've talked about a lot at points in Rockets Lakers, which is occupy the best help defender in the primary action, and then you have weaker help defense around the rim. Foul there.
Man, look how close. I said Tatum was late. Look how close he is to blocking that, even so. Huge free throws here for OG. Misses the first. What do you make of this lineup change now with no center on the floor?
I I don't think that the Raptors, it does make it more switchable, but I don't think Norman Powell is particularly great at that. Or did I
Two
miss? No, never mind. I have the wrong guy on the floor.
two
No, he's still
big
there.
missed free throws. Yeah, well, they're going Siakam at center. Brown eluding Siakam. His corner three. Bouncing and nice rebound by OG. That's where they could be vulnerable. And no, he just stepped on the end line. He
No,
says,
you know what happened? It wasn't that. He passed the ball and it hit the end line.
"Oh yes, thank you." But OG is saying, "Hey, they knocked me out of bounds here." And
He also might have stepped out.
yeah, and he also traveled too. Tice looking for Smart. They'll switch that, getting Tatum deep post position, but it's against Anunoby. Creates the space, and man, Anunoby is just a monster. Now it's Powell. This is a little faster unit for the Raptors as well. It's a good hope for the small group. Lowry over Brown. Big shot!
Wow.
So make or miss
Lowry's
league.
just dropping bombs.
Boston, since the timeout, has gotten some good looks. Hasn't been able to score. Here's Tatum against OG again. Goes to that ridiculous floater. Misses it, but I think we're going to see a blocking foul against Siakam maybe?
I think it might be a foul on the rebounding action.
Yeah, Tice got hit in the face. Yeah, Tatum just, that mid-range has not been there at all, but they are going to call it in favor of Tatum.
Well, and
yeah, ooh, he got
Tatum
clocked.
going one-on-one against OG Anunoby is, as you would phrase it, not an advantage matchup, but I think Tatum's going to it too much.
Yeah, and I think I liked the screen roll with Walker to get Van Vliet onto him instead. That's really the only time he's been able to get good looks in this game. Yeah, here's that Lowry three. And Jaylen Brown was just a little bit too short of a close there. Put him in a disadvantaged situation. But two big free throws for Tatum on a somewhat dicey call. I didn't see a lot there, to be honest.
I didn't either.
Toronto only 10 of 17 from the line. That may loom large as we get down to it. 2-3 zone for Boston. Lowry snaking on the pick and roll. Has Walker on his back. Van Vliet closed down by Tatum. Jab step, tries to drive into the lane. Great use of the body.
And a terrible reaction from Daniel Tice. He absolutely could have gotten there to affect that shot.
Yeah, I think he was more worried about the pass to Siakam. He thought that Tatum had him taken care of. Oh, that's a kickball, and it is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Danny, I respectfully will disagree with you there. I thought their game plan is that they do not want to overreact to penetration by these guards and make them finish at the rim. And that's a tough finish.
But there was 3 seconds left on the shot clock. There was no time.
That's enough time to pass it to somebody for a layup. Here's Walker against OG. Wants to get it back. Smart on the drive. Late clock. Getting around Powell and the foul.
Great patience there from Marcus Smart. Gets to a spot. Powell recovers, and he's able to get the finish. And 3 the hard way.
Let's see if this is really a foul here, though. This is could be another pretty dicey one. He gets him with that right arm on the shoulder,
Yep,
huh?
caught him on the shoulder.
Smart
And
completing.
Boston,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's 13 of 16 for them from the line. Big difference in accuracy.
Back to the 2-3 for the Boston Celtics. They'll probably match out onto this later on in the clock. No, they're sticking with it for now. Tice has to get out there on Van Vliet. Van Vliet stepping back. High arcer. Tipped by 2 guys. Missed. And Brown secures. Nobody looking to run here right now. I think Boston should try to do more of that. Walker rejecting the screen. Anunoby switching onto him beautifully. Walker tries to beat him. Anunoby staying with him. On the drive. Over help comes Tice. Corner 3. Big shot. Can't get it. Now it's Siakam going to try Braun in semi-transition. Boston not really back here. That's going to set up a ping-ping. It's Anunoby on the baseline jump shot. Yes. And it just not a lot of urgency matching up to Boston, they're looking just a
Well,
little
something
tired
to
right
remember
now.
here: Boston starters have been in the entire fourth quarter, still 4 minutes to go, and they have no discretionary timeouts.
Tatum against Van Vliet. Corner. Nice flare screen set by Tice. Brown way short. Yeah, you're right, Danny. Boston is looking a little tired here right now.
And Nick Nurse should not call his extra.
Yeah, I think, Toronto's not exactly looking too spry themselves, and now they are going to call that timeout. Yeah, generally, I think coaches are focused on whether their team looks tired rather than whether the other team looks tired. So it's
Yeah, and
yeah.
we've seen less crisp defensive rotations from the Boston Celtics. Also, a couple of short jump shots, which is often tired legs.
So Jaylen Brown, despite the big game, he's actually 10 out of 25 in this game. Kemba Walker is only 1 out of 7, 1 out of 5 from 3 with 3 assists, although I still maintain that he's been totally solid in the role that he's being asked to play, and I think they should put the ball in his hands to set other guys up. The three-point shooting has been massive now for both teams, 16 of 37 for Toronto and 17 of 41 for the Celtics. So I posit that the Celtics are getting much cleaner looks out of that based on the corner three stats.
And one thing that I thought was interesting about that last Celtics possession is it was one of the times that they got somebody other than OG Anunoby on Jason Tatum because Anunoby was guarding Kemba Walker, and Jason Tatum never touched the ball after that. Walker did do a drive and kick, and they got a clean look out of it. But I was thinking about it at the time because of Tatum running into that brick wall a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, Anunoby has done nothing to dispel our notion that, or at least mine, I don't want to speak for you, I think I have it right, that he is the best isolation defender in the NBA.
No, you are correctly reflecting both of our opinions there. What is OG's offensive upside? Well, he's shown more inside the bubble than I anticipated. I mean, I still think of him more as a open shots, two dribbles, and a good decision type of guy. And he can maybe move beyond that, but I don't think you want him to be more than a secondary or tertiary playmaker anyway with the workload that he's doing offensively. But or defensively, sorry. But I think he's doing a good job of that.
Resign Gasol, Ibaka, or both for the Raptors?
I answered this last time, so you can answer it.
I'd try to get both. I think but not on longer than a 1-year deal. Maybe a non-guarantee or a team option on the end. Probably a team option actually would be what I would prefer, so that they have more flexibility to re-sign him.
I want to use this question from Timo to make a greater point, which is he asked if OG Anunoby's the young Kawhi or is that too much? And the answer is it's too much. And a lot of times you look at players who have similar building blocks, but remember that Kawhi Leonard is in the 99.9th percentile of development after he hit the professional ranks. The way that he has improved as an overall offensive force. And so, sure, OG has similar, though not quite the same building blocks as Kawhi Leonard, but I would never expect any player to become what Kawhi Leonard has become, even if they were the exact same player.
When did I come up with the Brick Shithouse nickname? I want to say it was in the 17-18 playoffs of Boston against Milwaukee when he was guarding Giannis. Yeah, Kyle Lowry, 27 points, 6 of 8 from downtown, and he has been the engine here, doing it mostly from the outside. Only 3 2-point field goals from Lowry, and I think he has every single one of his field goals has been a jumper. I don't know if he's even attempted a layup. All right, we're back here. Toronto ball up 4. Screening action underneath. They want to get Lowry off the screen. Smart switching on to him nicely. Late clock. And Anunoby coming up. They got to trap him against the sideline here. Tice trying to draw the foul and cannot. 2.2 left and just couldn't get there in time. The scheme is when they set that pick and roll, most teams will do it right by the sideline to try and trap. And Kyle Lowry knew that he could draw the foul. And Tice, if you're there, you got to kind of square him up a little bit more. And Lowry with the bridge to nowhere foul, but not in the bonus yet.
I believe that's the third on Boston.
Going at Tyson pick and roll again. He almost draw the foul. No, they did call it again.
Yeah, I saw the ref out of the corner of my eye watching Norm Powell dribble, and I'm like, oh, there we go.
So still not in the bonus, but those could loom large to be sure. What is the foul situation now, Danny? As now here's an offensive foul.
I'm seeing it as 3 on Boston, 4 on Toronto, per ESPN's ticker thing. The one on their website, not on the screen because they don't show it.
Yeah. Let's see it here. Yeah, the shove off from Van Vliet on Walker, who remains outstanding defensively. So much sound and fury signifying nothing. And now a grab of the shirt of Tice, and I think this is going to be free throws for Daniel Tice.
I think that's 4. I think my box score, because we're a little bit delayed, I think that counted as 4.
Yeah, or maybe this counts offensive fouls as a foul on that count. But I believe it's in the bonus now for sure. They want to get Walker coming off the screen on the near side. Just going to let him go one-on-one. No, Tice sets the screen. Double team. Tatum shakes up from the corner. Late clock. He has to create an impossible fader. Way short. Brown gets it. Nick Nurse trying to say wave it off. They do call a shot clock violation. And this is, are they going to review this immediately? By calling a shot clock violation, they can then review it. Let's see it.
Yeah, it's late.
Yep, thank you. Tatum, again, nothing. Although that was Siakam rather than Anunoby who defended him that time.
And that's a good use of replay. Just really quick. Nope, wasn't off in time to do that. It did take players out of rhythm a little bit, but not too badly. And it's such an important thing to get right. And you can actually see that on the film.
Toronto trying to extend the lead once more. Lowry has the look. Misses it. Oh, OG with the offensive board. Lowry again has Tice on him. They taking advantage of him? No, they want Siakam in the post. Good post position. Do they keep him off the right hand? No, he has to go to the fadeaway, and he's just not as comfortable turning over his right shoulder. Good job by Braun taking him off of that. Here's Smart. Brown is open in the corner, not ready to shoot it. Drives it instead. Goes into Powell. Fights it up. Offensive rebound, Tice, and that's where they could be vulnerable with this group. No center on the floor. 2-point game. Will Boston advance, or will Toronto force a game 7? Walker, again, great defense cutting off Van Vliet. They switch this. They want to get Siakam in the post. Late switch from Smart onto him. Forces him left. Steals it. Boston can tie it now. Tatum running the floor on the left. Smart lobs. Tice underneath. Dunks. Great pass. And Daniel Tice running the floor. That's actually one of my favorite moves when I play pickup is run the floor and then just kind of stop short. He stopped short, Danny.
Frank Costanza would be so proud.
Tie game at 98. Van Vliet engaging Tice. Gets the mid-range look. Nice box out by Brown. And Jaylen Brown used the Lowry move on Lowry to just fall down.
Presumably an over the backbreaker. We don't know for sure because the box score doesn't have it, but I think it is.
Look at this strip. That is a ridiculous strip. He's got like the RB carry, and he still stripped it away from it. And then a great pass by Smart on the other end. Tice with 2 huge buckets. First the offensive board, and then the dunk.
Also, Anunoby fouled Tice twice on that dunk.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't call it. So, Boston now in the bonus. They want to get Tatum against Anunoby. Walker, they're going to bring him out. Van Vliet getting through it. Finally, Walker has the ball against Van Vliet late in the clock. They fake the screen. Walker on the crossover down the lane. Gets his man in the air. Floats it. Oh, just off the front rim. And now Tice is behind the play. They can push. Siakam. Smart gets him. No advantage gained, but Lowry is matched up against Tice. That's what they want. Double team comes. Lowry setting up Van Vliet. He is out there. Off. Oof, man, these guys got to be so tired right now. Look at Tice. He's out of gas. Walker, after that last possession, has to be tired. Brown setting the screen. They want to get Van Vliet on him. They don't even set the screen. Now it's Tatum isoing on Siakam. I don't like this advantage matchup, but he gets past him. Tice was open in the corner, but Tatum just lost it.
He threw that pass to Nick Nurse.
I don't understand why they would go with Tatum. I don't understand why they're not actually setting a screen. I thought Walker really has been the guy who has the advantage. Hey, throws this pass just to nowhere. Great defense by the Raptors on Jason Tatum. And the Raptors took this timeout. And I like the timeout here because with 43.8, they have to get the 2-for-1 here, really give themselves an advantage.
Well, and something I want to bring up on that last play, not only did they double Kyle Lowry leaving Norm Powell, but also Jaylen Brown, despite the double, left Fred VanVleet basically too.
Yeah, that was a long three for VanVleet, though, from the wing. Is basically about as far as you could take it at that angle on the court. So I'm trying to think of what they're going to run here. You imagine Lowry is going to be involved. You imagine that they're going to try and go after Tice and pick and roll. That's been the main play so far. And Lowry against Tice is about as good as they've been able to do in a matchup in that pick and roll. But they want to get something quick. And you can do that involving Daniel Tice with the screen and to just get a quick three-pointer. That might be what they look for. But threes don't help you as much here now. Just getting a bucket of any kind is your most important priority to just break this deadlock. All right, they're going to bring it full court now. Same personnel for both sides. They do involve Tice. Trying to post up Siakam. They're not going to get the 2-for-1. What are they doing?
Nope.
Here's Siakam on the drive. Oh, he missed the layup. He got a great look. And yeah, Boston now, it is incumbent upon them to run the time down all the way. And I think Stevens should take a timeout here. There's no personnel changes. Instead, they're just going to let Walker go at VanVleet. I think this is going to just be one-on-one here. That's what they should do. No, it's Tatum setting the screen. Walker to his left. Down the lane. Floats it up. Missed the layup. OG has it. And they're going to get a timeout. No, a jump ball.
No, they're calling a jump ball.
They're asking for a review. Walker cannot believe that he missed that layup. He's talking to someone in the stands about having missed it. And there's going to be some controversy here now about, is there a timeout? Is this a jump ball? The referee's going to talk this over. Man, that was a good look for Walker, wasn't it?
Two big misses for him in the lane in the final minute of
he got killed.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he missed the layup. And Lowry is trying to get the timeout. I don't believe that OG really had possession before he got tied up, though. Yeah, OG just killed him. That should have been a foul.
And VanVleet hit him, too.
And now, the baseline official had the jump ball. Yeah, that is a massive foul that the baseline official just totally missed that. If there's any justice here, at least this will be a jump ball instead of a Raptors timeout. But no, they're giving him the timeout. What a missed call. And now the Raptors with a chance to advance it. They don't really have anyone who's a great option here, though, to shoot the ball quickly on the move off the catch. Powell might actually be a decent option for that. Maybe they even go Matt Thomas here. He's totally on ice, though. He hasn't even played in this quarter or in this half.
Well, here we go.
I mean, Lowry also is a guy who can shoot it on the move. They're starting with him in the backcourt. Gasol is the inbounder.
I like Gasol as the inbounder here.
Yeah, with a little more size. They don't put Taco Fall in. I don't think he's even active. Here they go. They're switching everything now. They're not going to the 2-3. Gasol tries to get it in. OG! And are they calling this? They are. And Tatum did, in fact, get him with his body. What a collapse again from the Celtics. Surely Stevens will challenge here. But I don't think he's going to win.
Stevens has 2 timeouts.
Great play. Tatum just got beat. They faked the screen. He goes back door. Yeah, Stevens has 2 timeouts. Oh, no, it's a non-shooting foul.
Oh.
All right, now we get it in again. Trying to get Siakam. Tough fader. No good off the glass, and as it should be, this will go to overtime. And once again, we screwed up the foul situation at the end of the quarter, so I'm sorry for that. But Danny, that's the rule change that we need to have, right? The alley-oop not being a
Yes.
shooting foul?
Yeah, that absolutely should be a shooting foul. Yeah, I think the reason I didn't think about it is because I still think of the rule as it should be. Yeah, that is
I
something.
thought that it had to be a shooting foul. It didn't even occur to me that it wouldn't be. Well, maybe this will be the impetus to finally change that rule because it sucks.
Well, and I mean, honestly, you could think about how turnabout is fair play. They clearly missed a foul on the other end, and at least they called that one, and they called it correctly as the rule exists. It just is a bad rule.
Yeah, I mean, how is that not a shooting foul? Like, what else is he doing? I mean, and also,
oh no, he had 5/10 of a second to do something else, Nate.
and also, yeah, right. Also, though, I think I didn't know that the contact really occurred before he made the catch, and once he's made the catch, then it clearly has to be a shooting foul. That was very close to me, also. So, 5 more minutes. This also another rule that I've got is overtime should be like 2 or 3 minutes, right? Like there's all this tension. We're so wound up, and now it's like, oh, there's 5 minutes left in the game. All of a sudden, it's like that first couple of minutes doesn't take on the import that it should.
Since it's long, I'll go through a couple of the foul. So Marc Gasol has 5. I don't think he's going to be on the floor a ton. But Jaylen Brown and Daniel Tice have 4. That isn't huge immediately, but potentially if this extends, if it goes to double overtime, that could be a big deal. And that's another rule change that you and I have supported. I think Kevin Pelton's the one banging this drum the best, is that especially once you get to a second overtime, guys should get extra foul.
Yeah, so you called it that the 5 starters played the entire fourth quarter together for the Celtics, but for Toronto, the minute totals: Siakam 44, OG 40, Lowry 42, Van Vliet 40, and Norman Powell is the fresh one with 28. But they basically went with that lineup for the last 6-7 minutes as well. Yeah, definitely not the greatest referee the last couple of minutes there. Kemba Walker should have had 2 free throws. And I think they really need to walk through everything here with Kemba Walker. The other thing that we can't forget about for the pod is Toronto not getting the 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Nick Nurse being way out of the coaching box, giving Tatum a target to pass it to. I don't think he's in the coaching box standing there. He's getting there so he can, direct his defense. Oh, Tatum almost stole the tip, but instead it's Toronto. A lot of tired players out here right now. They want to go after Tyson, pick and roll again. Walker, good defense to just keep him away from the screen. Now they'll try Lowry. Lowry way out there, going to his left. Misses it. And, I mean, Boston is not even thinking about trying to run right now. They want to get Tatum at the elbow against Lowry. Tice trying to post up. This is Walker against Van Vliet. Tatum has the size advantage. Late clock, though. Backs down. Steps through. OG with the help, and I think they're going to get a reach-in foul on OG Anunoby. Nice job by Tatum spinning off of that leverage by Lowry. Looks like Anunoby took a shot to the face. But I think if I read his lips, he says, I'm all right. They're going to call this as a shooting foul.
I think they should.
Yeah, let's see if we can catch it here. So, yeah, Tatum almost lost it there. It's hard to see what happened. Looks like everyone's okay, though. Ibaka trying to tell OG how to, if I can read what he was saying there, how to play in the post against Tice trying to post up, and it looks like Lowry actually reached in. He'll be charged with the foul, not
Yeah, and so
Anunoby.
that's pre-gather, so I think that's probably not a shooting foul.
Are they looking at this for like a flagrant on Tatum?
For a hostile act, I think they are.
I really hope they don't call this. Like, he already got the ball stripped and got fouled. I guess he's just trying to flail, and that's what caused the contact. I mean, I will say this. If this is consistent with the way they've called it, so they're giving a technical foul to Tatum because it was after the whistle.
But that's in the same motion as the foul. I mean, that's ridiculous to me.
I mean, that's the way they've been calling it these whole playoffs. Kevin Pelton, he noted that they've kind of just gone to the college rule of like any elbow to the face is a technical or a flagrant without actually saying that. So Toronto somehow leads by 1 here. At least they called it a technical and not a flagrant, because that would have been loss of possession and 2 free throws.
That's true.
Brown going to go at Lowry, crosses over into the lane. Jaylen Brown attacking off the dribble. I like that they went to the relatively fresher guy. He had not had a touch in some time, and Boston 1-point lead. They want to get Walker onto Lowry. Is he just going to try and go at him one-on-one using his size, backing down into the lane? This is the first time they've tried this. He goes right shoulder and scores. You knew Lowry likes to go right shoulder there on that little kind of mid-range post-up, but he got a little deeper that time. Very interesting. They did not want to help. There's OG switching it onto Brown. He'll take a tough shot over Anunoby. Not a good one that time.
Yeah, and their Brown couldn't get all the way to the basket and settled. It was still, I think that was like 13 on the shot clock.
Smart kicks out Daniel Tice. Now they're going to the same play again. Let's see whether help comes. It's Siakam. Tatum on him. Siakam double clutched it. Not ready to shoot. Here's Walker on the drive at Anunoby. Leaves for Tice beautifully. And that to me is where it's at for Boston. Just get out of Kemba Walker's way. Fred VanVleet has not been able to keep him in front. Now they're going with the 4-1 pick and roll. Siakam down the lane, left hand. Oh, he's had a couple of chances with layups here in the last few minutes. Pick and roll, Walker. No, they're going to get VanVleet here with the foul going through the screen. Yeah, those two guys look like they're at the line of scrimmage. They both loaded up into each other.
Yeah, and that's the second team foul on the Raptors in the in overtime. Oh no, sorry, it's the first, because the other one did the. Oh, actually,
no, the
how
other one counted.
It counts.
Yeah, it should have counted.
It counts. It just
15 on the clock. Brown against Lowry has the size advantage. Sizes him up. Powell reaching in, and he knocks it out of bounds. Will remain Boston ball.
And these guys are just exhausted. I mean, there have also been a lot of hits to the face and to the body, but they're just gassed.
Well, they also have some reviews to catch their breath a little bit from time to time. Yeah. 9 on the clock. Get it into Tice. Walker screening for Tatum. They want to get him with the size advantage. Instead, it's Walker against Anunoby. Late clock. Walker crossing over into the lane. Step back. Good look. Bucket. Kemba Walker. Finally, someone scores on Anunoby, and it took every second of the shot clock to do it.
And so now Toronto really needs to get their offense moving. They've had some good looks, though, in the last couple possessions, just tricked a couple layups.
Going at Tyson pick and roll again. VanVleet crossing over. Help is there from Tatum. He's got Powell, left baseline, big three, big corner three, ties it. At 104, VanVleet with the Nash along the baseline, and no rotation was there on the backside.
Yeah, it looked like Jaylen Brown could have been there, but he was helping on the Nash for some reason.
Here is Tatum against VanVleet. They had success with this in the third. Trying to use his side. Good help from Lowry to take him off of that. Smart with a three. Tried to draw the foul and couldn't. Now Tyson and Anunoby engaged beyond the play. It's 4-on-4.
No help.
Powell going at Walker into the lane, and he's hacked.
And I think Powell, I mean, he drives aggressively anyway, but I think he drove more aggressively knowing that Tice was well behind the play.
And that's the right call. Walker is aggrieved. Yeah, Brown sunk in really for no reason. You're right on that corner three. Man, did Walker have to work hard for that jumper. And then the foul call, I think Walker had his arms down and Powell went through his left arm. And he's given Toronto a 1-point lead. And this has been a fast overtime, already down to 132 left.
Yeah, every starter other than Marc Gasol for both teams in the 40s, 47 minutes for Pascal Siakam.
Powell, 2 big free throws. Do they go back to Walker again? Tatum has not had it in the slightest in this game. 2 screens for Walker. Van Vliet gets through. Pick and pop Tatum. Going at Siakam. Spin move. Trying to set up the corner. Just nothing there at all. He's got to get back now. They got to go back to Walker. This Tatum stuff is not working. Trying to go at Walker now. He'll just take the easy low resistance switch onto Lowry. Let's see if Lowry works into the lane with his size again. Back out Van Vliet. On the move. Big three. Rebound Brown. Good job tracking that down.
Boston should push. Nope.
Semi-transition. Walker against OG. That's not really... he's better off going against Van Vliet. He'll take the 3 over OG. Way short. Smart trying to save. Oh, Tice wasn't looking. He could have had a layup. Now Toronto can force it down to one more Boston possession. I don't know why they had to set the screen to put OG onto Walker when he's been killing Van Vliet. Now Van Vliet going at Walker. Into the lane. Help comes. Tatum tips it away. Here's Brown pushing it. And a foul from behind. Good foul. Really good foul by Siakam. Although that will give Boston... Well, it doesn't matter because they're down. So it doesn't matter if they get the last shot. They should try and get something quick here.
Yeah, and ideally not Jason Tatum isolating.
Yeah, Celtics will take the timeout trailing by 2. And the math here says you go for a 3, down 2. You still would have a chance to foul and maybe get another opportunity. But when the defense is guarding against a potential 2, that's when you can maybe get the 3. Perhaps, though, the Celtics deem themselves the favorites if you go into a double overtime. I might agree with that, although everyone looks equally exhausted at this point in time. What do you think they're going to run here? Or who should they go to?
They should go to Kemba. I mean, Kemba's created the best opportunities for them so far. Kemba could attack Fred Van Vliet. I could attack Norm Powell if you can get him involved in the screening action. That's where I would go.
Yeah, I think just a straight ISO for Kemba against Van Vliet. Spread the floor. Put everyone in the corner. If he drives, Tice could maybe sprint in from the corner to try to get a layup. You maybe set up a 3 that way, or just go in, blow by him, and get the finish.
And this is one of those circumstances where you sell out hard to try to get the offensive rebound because you're going to foul anyway.
Yeah, every single guy should be crashing in from the 3-point line when this shot goes up. You're absolutely right. All right, let's watch Walker here on the opposite side. He's guarded by Van Vliet. Lowry is on Jaylen Brown. Siakam has the matchup against Tatum. They get it in. Backdoor. Brown fouled. And they are in the bonus now.
Please tell me they're going to call that a shooting foul. Well, they're in the bonus anyway.
So, great play by Brad Stevens, reminiscent of 2018 Game 3 when I think they were down 2 as well. They got a quick play like that to Horford, and that was a pretty similar action, actually, to what the Raptors ran to get or was it, I can't remember if it was Siakam or OG who got fouled on that play at the end of regulation, but similar action to that. You'll see that a lot. And now Brown, 2 of the bigger free throws of his career. Hits the first. Jaylen Brown coming out of school, only a shooter in the 60s from the foul line, but is worked up to being a solid free throw shooter. And this one for the tie with Gasol in for rebounding purposes. Surely the Raptors will call timeout if this goes in, and it does.
Are they really going to call a lane violation? No.
No, just the hey, don't fight everyone. So now,
Okay, so we know who Toronto's personnel is going to be here. What is Boston's?
well, and that's an interesting question, Danny. Do they want to? I think they're going to stick with Tice. Like they've been defending relatively well. They want to get some help defense. You bring anybody else in cold. Remember, nobody else has even played since the third quarter. So I mean, you could say maybe you go with Ojale and try and switch everything. I think I would consider
Do,
that actually, Danny,
do you
because
potentially go with Ojale instead of Kemba?
yeah, maybe you I think that might be a thought
That's what
too,
I would do.
because they're going to try. They have to run the time down at the end, so it's going to almost certainly be some kind of an isolation, and you don't want to get caught in a bad matchup for that. Lowry has been using his size. I would consider that, but I mean, it's tough bringing in a defensive replacement cold like that. You don't have the rhythm of the game. You might foul. They call it the Daniel Ewing rule from that Clippers Suns series all those years ago, where they put him in as a defensive replacement. So Walker's going to remain in, apparently. Both teams going to roll with the same group. See what the matchups are when they zoom out. Will it be double overtime or a Raptors win? Van Vliet pops out here, and they're going to run the time down. Powell has it up top. This is interesting. Powell going to isolate against Kemba. Very interesting here. Now Lowry's going to come set the screen. No, he's just going to fake it. This is going to be Norm Powell against Walker. Crossing over. Gets the shot from three. Deep. Off. And I thought Powell needed to try to get closer to the basket on that play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, going back, we've seen Karis LeVert on CJ McCollum. There are numerous examples that I think guys need to go a little bit earlier, especially when you know the other team isn't going to foul, and just work to try to get something. These guys are going to be so exhausted. So I'll give you some of the minute totals so far. For the Raptors, Siakam 49, Van Vliet 46, Lowry 48, Anunoby 43. For the Celtics, Tatum 46, Tice 40, Kemba 46, Smart 45, Jaylen Brown 46. So we're going to see some 50 burgers. Probably like 6 of them. And it's taking a break. So delaying click. So Clippers Nuggets is actually going on right now. It looks like a 5-0 lead in favor of the Clippers. But yeah, they're doing that. What do you think about Powell taking the final shot there? I would have actually, so I would have worked to try to get somebody else on Kemba. They had enough time. I think it was like 14 seconds when Jalen made the free throws. It was actually 19. So yeah, I would have worked harder to get, this is a Houston Rockets thing. If you're going to ISO, get exactly who you want. And I don't think Norman Powell is the best isolation scorer on the Toronto Raptors. He hasn't done, he's not terrible, but he hasn't done a ton overall in this game. That is not where I would have gone. I probably would have done, yeah, I mean, if Kemba's in the game, maybe you go Lowry Kemba and try to grind it down. You could do it that way. Siakam's been rough, so probably wouldn't have been him. But yeah, maybe Lowry Kemba. That might have been how I would have done it. Lowry Tice would have worked too. Oh, he's the freshest isolation scorer. That's the point. That's true,
Yeah.
but you don't need to. You're not exactly moving quickly there. This isn't a. It's not like Jaylen Brown attacking all the way to the basket. They ran it as kind of a slow possession.
Yeah, so on the Powell thing, Bontemps noted this. I remember this as well, that they went for this in the end of the first game of the season against New Orleans, a Powell isolation. At the time, we were actually doing that game. I was like, he is maybe their best isolation player.
Well,
at
worth
that time.
noting. Sorry, quick interjection. Kyle Lowry has 5 fouls. He got one towards the end there. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's something to watch very closely here. Raptors have won both of these tips, which is a big advantage in overtime. Let's see if these teams can get back to a little bit more Normal offensive flow. It's Siakam against Brown. Knocks it away. Walker with the immediate reaction. Now it's Tatum ahead of the field for the big dunk. A fast break, Danny. You remember those?
No.
Huge start there. The tip away. Walker with the incredibly quick reaction to the loose ball. And we're going to get a foul call on Tice. Yeah, Tice grabbed his arm. And OG with a ridiculous fall down to draw the call, but he did foul him. Yeah, Brown taking it away from Siakam, and then a great pass. Jaylen Brown, those 2 ice free throws to tie the game as well for him. Walker has done great work defensively on Van Vliet. Oh, and he stepped in the backcourt. Ooh, was that close? The left heel. Let's see it.
Oh,
there it is.
And the ref's on the line, so.
Yeah, that is tough to see there on the NBA logo too, but he's got it right. Smart going to screen for Walker. Not really. They're trying to get Tatum open. Siakam not letting him. Now it's Tatum against Van Vliet. Drives, lob, dunk by Tice. 2 dunks.
What a great decision.
Yeah, OG stepping up a little bit stronger than he needed to. He's not used to playing that center help role defensively. Now it's OG on the cut. Oh, Brown with great help defense. Walker secures the rebound. Again, they could have run. They didn't. Now it's Brown. He has a chance. Breaks it into the front court, and Van Vliet with the strip.
Huge play. That could have gone up 6.
Now it's Lowry into the lane. His lefty layup. Yeah, that was enormous swing right there. I like the idea of trying to attack by Jaylen Brown. He had the size advantage on Van Vliet, but he is a tough guard. Tatum against Siakam, forcing him left, backs it out, wants the screen to try and get the switch. They got to make contact on these screens, Danny. Tough fader. This is Tice, offensive glass. And what do we got? A foul here?
Is that on Lowry?
No.
What are they calling?
They want there to be a review. They want Nurse to challenge it, I think. They are now challenging it. I think they got Powell for it. I don't know. There may not be a good enough angle of this, though, given where it took place. Let's see what he says here. Yeah, Toronto is challenging, says John Goebel. And I didn't realize this was John Goebel. That might explain why this has been an unevenly refereed game. He is not one of my favorites. All right, this should tell us whether there's a foul or not. Whew. Nope, that's clean. I mean, you can't see any contact there at all. So this is going to be a jump ball with like 2 seconds left.
There's a hook on Tice that Tice did on Anunoby before that. Could they reverse it to that?
They can look at it. I think that might be a little bit too early.
That's the question I was thinking.
You know, they have some discretion to look at something that might have occurred earlier. So I'm not sure about that, but Anunoby's grabbing him too. So that could be part of it. And then also, do you see that left hand of Powell? Because I think
Anunoby's right hand.
Well, and so I think this is noteworthy because it's the backside official who makes a call. Watch the left hand of Powell right here.
Yeah, it hits Tice in the elbow.
And I think that's because it's the official on the sideline on the opposite side who made that call. And so that might be enough to maintain this. Very difficult, though. If it were me, I would overturn it. But if the standard is, can you find something to uphold the call? I think you could find something. What do you guys think in the comments?
Somebody said every contested rebound is a foul. It's like, yeah, pretty much. That's a fair point. And I stand by my 30-second proposal that basically that
Yeah.
any review should not take longer than that. If it's just leave it to the call on the floor. Not saying that would lead to everything being correct, but I think that gets to the right intention of a review.
Yeah, Lowry. I mean, that's a good idea to just sit down, honestly. That's what I would be doing. Yeah, I mean, Tyson and Anunoby are both wrapped up with one another. Successful challenge. Overturned, so it's going to be a jump ball.
And that's Tice's 5th, I believe.
No, wait. Oh, they called it on
no.
Tice?
No, they're calling it a jump ball.
Yeah, that's not following him.
So then he already had 5. I was just looking at the fouls.
So a jump ball, but it is a new shot clock here, which is critical. There's not 2 seconds left on the shot clock. I forgot that rule when the challenge happens and you get a jump ball. And I think Nurse is wondering the same thing. If that is the rule, they should probably change it. And they let Brown try his hand at the tip that time, and he lost it too. Raptors dominating in the jump ball is 3-0 in overtime. And now Anunoby tripped Marcus Smart, who again goes down. And yes, that is a pretty massive illegal screen.
Absolutely an illegal screen.
I mean, nobody can make contact on a screen. That's part of why these offenses are struggling so badly right now. Yeah, clearly. I mean, that's
screen.
About as illegal as it gets. It's a very dangerous play there. So still a 2-point lead. Smart got a nice Charlie horse for his trouble on that one. They're trying to get Tatum here. They actually do make contact on the screen for once. Here's Brown going at Lowry. This is the play call here to actually ISO. And Lowry with the strip. Brown has turned it over twice. Siakam trying to post. What a play by Tatum. Now they're trying for the loose ball. Toronto recovers. Powell on the baseline drive. Brown trying to take the charge. They get a blocking foul. And Will Stevens...
way too late.
Will Stevens now challenge this? He might have been there, Danny. I don't know.
We'll see. My instinct watching it live was that Brown was really late, but I could be wrong.
They're not first. I mean, and I don't know if they're going to challenge it either. Yeah, they're not. They're going to save it apparently. Powell gets the first. He's got one more to tie it. That last play for Boston, the idea was to get everyone above the foul line and then throw it to the wing to Tatum or to Brown so he could attack. But I don't think that's really an advantage matchup. He had one nice play against Lowry, but overall, I still think that Walker is the guy. But, it takes a lot of effort for him on these attacks. And I don't know why they're screening again. Like, it's really Van Vliet to me that they've been able to go after. Smart trying to get into the post. They kick out. Tice is there. Great play there. They took advantage of Toronto trying to go for the kick out switch. Anunoby, Van Vliet didn't get out of there fast enough. And a great cut from Tice, who's got springy legs here in the OT. And Smart has thrown some wonderful passes. Now they want Siakam against Brown. Does he keep him out that right hand? Instead, the jump shot. Yes, ties it 112. Just an absolute slugfest. Same play again for Boston. Tatum on the move, attacking Siakam. Kicks it out. Walker has Smart wide open in the corner. Eluding Anunoby. His three is huge. Yes! It goes down. 3-point lead for Boston. Great start by Jason Tatum on that possession to draw help. They're trying to get Smart off of Lowry. Instead, it's Anunoby on the drive. He goes in. Powell has a 3 to tie. Yes! Of course. What other result could there be in this game? Looked like Boston had some separation, and Toronto is right back. They're going to go the 1-3 pick and roll again. Walker attacking down the lane. Alley-oop tights with the dunk as Lowry could not get inside of him. And
they're doing
yeah.
Sorry, and Boston's doing such a great job generating help and immediately finding the pass.
Yeah, and that time Walker rejected the screen behind the back, and Anunoby with a 3 for the lead. It goes down. What is this game? All of a sudden, these teams can't score, and now they're scoring on every possession again. Same play again for Boston. Switch this. Walker getting past Siakam into the lane. Loses it. Brown somehow recovers. He kicks it out. Smart. Tatum on the drive. He gets it picked by Powell. He's going at Smart. Smart trying to take the charge. And the foul. Unbelievable.
What a huge stretch from the Toronto Raptors. They were down 3 after that Marcus Smart 3, and then I believe is that 6 straight points, and then potentially a 7th here, all from Norm Powell.
And a great defensive move there. Boston passed up a number of what could have been open threes. Smart goes for the ill-advised strip on Powell. And now it is a 2-possession lead for Toronto. That is a huge and one to push it to 2 possessions in Boston. They'll get a timeout. They must get the 2-for-1 here.
And incredibly, that was a stretch of about 2 minutes where there was a score on every single possession. It was from 2:33 to 36 seconds or 41 seconds when they did that incredible action.
Yeah, beautiful behind-the-back pass here from Lowry to set up OG with the 3. And Boston with just a couple of ugly turnovers, and the transition for Toronto. Norman Powell has been the hero here in double overtime, but they're not out yet. And look for Stevens to go if they advance the ball. He likes those quick hitting plays. We saw them go to Brown on the back door and get the free throws that tied it in the end of the first overtime. So watch out for like a quick backdoor, a quick throw into the post to maybe someone who's fronted. That's what they like to go to in these situations. They don't have much time for it to develop here. You'd like to get this off no later than about 31 on the clock. Smart, the inbounder. Trying to get Tatum against Lowry. Walker was open. They didn't go to him. Instead, it's Tatum into the lane. Floater. That's a great shot. And he shot that actually with one hand. He didn't go to that little running jump shot. So Boston gets what they need, and now they need a stop. And they have enough time here, Danny, if they get a stop, to push it up afterwards. Lowry against Walker. Lowry's going to try and use his strength here to create a shot. Going to the fadeaway. Walker was on him. Doesn't matter. Timeout, Boston. Kyle Lowry, you knew that's what he was going to. That right shoulder fadeaway. Really the only move he has there. Walker knew he was going to it, and he couldn't stop it anyway.
And you know what's funny? That was what I wanted Toronto to do at the end of regulation.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the first overtime, sorry. Lowry, I think he can get to a spot on Kemba Walker. It's hard. It can be hard to send help. Lowry's such a good passer. Just patience, gets there, and beautiful shot by Kyle Lowry. Now, Boston, a big part of why they use the timeout here is because theoretically Boston's gonna have to score twice here to win this game, or to even force a triple overtime. And they can use the time the ball is in the air on the last possession, but you want to make sure you get this one really fast.
Stevens on the replay, you could see him motioning to Daniel Tice, like, get over here, get over here. And Tice went to the middle of the lane and then went back, and Lowry was able to get the shot, and he's taking a well-earned rest here. He is exhausted. some of the crazy lines from this game. Both teams over 40% three-point shooting. 19 of 47 for Toronto, 19 of 46 for Boston.
So as Boston here, are you prioritizing a three?
Absolutely. Let's see what they've got. They want a screen for Walker. He gets it. Tatum is open. He'll take the deep three over OG and hits. 6.2 left. Toronto trying to get it in. They do to Powell, and they're going to have to foul. They did not do a good enough job of matching up and denying on the inbounds.
And so now these are, off the top of my head, the two biggest free throws of Norman Powell's career.
Yeah, but 5 seconds left for Boston. They do not have any timeouts remaining. So they will be hard-pressed to go the length of the court in 5 seconds no matter what happens here with these free throws. Powell hasn't even hit the rim on these. They're just going to have to inbound after this no matter what happens. And he makes it. So a 3 for Boston is necessary. They got 5 seconds to do it.
Interesting that Tatum's the inbounder here. You might want him shooting this shot.
He throws it way ahead. This is smart. He's got to look. He's inside the three-point arc, though, I think. And it doesn't matter. He missed it. Out of bounds. We may have a review here with 0.5 left. I think Smart was even inside the line. Anyway, that was
I think he had at least a foot on the line there.
That was another sick play call, though. Everyone coming into the front court. I don't know if they intended that necessarily, that they were going to throw it the length of the court to Marcus Smart. And is this going to be, did they have a ruling here on what happened? I think this is just Toronto ball. Yeah, I don't think this was even the play, but Smart just basically posted up on Norman Powell 75 feet away from the passer. This is good defense by Powell without fouling, and Smart, I think he was inside the line, and he probably traveled too.
And that ball's off Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. I also thought Smart could have looked for one of his teammates sprinting into the front court, a la that old Bryce Drew play against Ole Miss all those years ago.
Or I was thinking about the Villanova play from a couple years ago, though he was inside the arc on that one.
So this is going to be over here with Toronto surely advancing the ball and 0.5 left.
Yeah, especially because Boston doesn't even have a timeout. So even if it's a turnover, it has to be a turnover that somehow becomes a popped up 3. But what a game.
Yeah, pretty insane one here. And, that, Danny, I mean, you know what lost the game for him? Smart fouling. Lowry and Nurse talking to each other. Lowry is saying, don't call a timeout. We could have just inbounded it right now. And Nurse is saying, no, we are not taking any chances. And Nurse is right here. Just no reason to mess around at all. I mean, and I think they're putting Gasol in to be the inbounder.
Well, really, all you have to do here is make sure that the ball goes inbounds and touches a human being, because the only thing that can't happen is just have it touch no one, because then Boston would have the ball with a half second.
Yeah, but I mean, really, what lost Boston the game? I mean, it would have probably played out differently. Ooh. Oh, and this is why Lowry didn't want them to. Lowry was worried they could get overturned. That's why he didn't want him to call a timeout. But all they got to do is get it in here. They throw it up into the air, and I think they're going to get Smart with the foul. Stevens is trying to just walk off the floor somehow. And yeah, it'll just be a final here now. But yeah, that Smart foul in transition on the Powell and one. And there'll be a little bit of chippiness for these players to remember going into game number 7. Awesome game 6. The quote-unquote road team has won each game in the series, and we'll be back to do this show, of course, for Game 7. That'll be Friday night. Can't wait, and we'll talk to you next time here on the NBA Cast.